Here we go, getting ready to go. Here we go, getting ready. Cat hair. Just always cat hair. Everywhere. Okay. Whew. Showtime. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Happy Tuesday to you. It's not too noticeable. I have a little bit of cat hair on me. We had a chip attack. It's just as I was setting up, and of course he's like, I would like to nap on your lap, and I would like a snack, and I need some pets, especially around my chin and cheek area. And I'm like, okay. You thought the moral of the story was going to be, I got a show to do. No. Totally got suckered into it. Yeah. So, anyways, welcome to the show. Apparently, I don't know if you know this, but it's the end of the world and it's women's fault, and that's because Jesus hates you guys, ladies. I don't know what you did other than that whole Apple thing, which I mean, between the two of us, on the one hand, I have to recognize on your, it was probably a mistake, ladies. Am I right? I know, it was probably a pomegranate, apples. What the fuck do they think this, where do they think Eden was? The American Midwest? What kind of Mormon bullshit is this? But ladies, on the one hand, it was a big, you fucked up. You really did with the whole apple thing, the pomegranate, whatever it was. Fig, right? Maybe if you just admit it, they'll all settle the fuck down. Secondarily, guys, I have to say, and hey, I'm not speaking for every guy out there. I'm just the kind of guy who believes in absolute personal responsibility, that maybe we could have not taken it just because she suggested. Since, this giant post-temporal being that created everything told us not to, and she hands us, like, have you tried these? And I'm like, oh, yeah, shit. Oh, no! What kind of... I'm just saying, we didn't have to follow her off the cliff, as it were. Yes, we were doing fruit. And that's, by the way, maybe that's what the secret QAnon message is. Guys, I'm totally waking up to this. It's amazing. The whole Trump's whole thing about they were gonna do fruit, which sounds like a Madison Cawthorn cooking show. Ouch! I meant more the doing part than the fruit part, because I don't know that. Never mind. It's silly. Did we learn nothing from American Pie? That, perhaps, we should, where am I supposed to set this? My desk is a wreck, and I have all this stuff on it. I feel like, I don't know how some of these assholes do it. How in the world does somebody like Alex Jones, I mean, it's granted, his desk is gigantic, and behind him is a giant squiggle of the United States written in amber dinosaur jizz. I don't know what that is. I don't think any of us know. But he's got his overhead. I'm going to have to set up one of those overhead projector cameras to show. All it'll show you is that I have my iPad. Hey, asshole. You can't be afraid of technology. Your studio's ginormous and is hooked up to the internet. Get an iPad. You could just sift through stuff. Maybe get one of those big Glenn Beck boards in front of you where you can swipe. Those things are sweet, and he doesn't even know how to use it. And that's what you would see. You would see that I have a beverage. Today it is yerba mate in a lovely yellowish green container that is see-through. I'm drink the ghost juice, Alex. Don't be afraid. My Captain America beverage topper from when I saw, I think this was Civil War at the movie theater. That's there. Atmospheric aerosol, none of your goddamn business. Doesn't even show up at the green screen. It's meant to give you, when you're filming, a sort of smokier atmosphere. But you can't, it just vanishes in here. It'll just make me fuzzy for a second. My cam link in case everything goes to shit. Let's see, my weird yellow glasses, which are always here for a potential Kristen Cinema gag if I ever find her funny, which I really don't. You would see my Garfield phone, which because it's yellow right here, it's see-through. Hello. What else would you see? The fact that I have 2 utility knives on my desk. These are both right-hand flippers on my... because I'm always attaching and cutting zip ties. Both are really good. Both of them have good belt clip holders on there. This black one is from Bear Edge. This one's sweet. This one's actually of the ones that I have, like, it's got like a grippable handle, and then this little thing flips out, so you can kind of, I don't know. It's really helpful when I'm like under there, and I'm like, son of a bitch. So yeah, it's a good one. And then, oh yes, don't forget, I wasn't going to leave it out. A hamburger phone, an old unused Xbox controller that I used as a gag once. Remember that on the show? Like it was something we were watching, and I was pretending it was a game or whatever, and it's just been sitting here ever since. That's my desk. Oh, and I have a Rode, like my mixer there for a little bit of the audio, my Stream Deck, and 2 keyboards and a mouse, and that's it. Meanwhile, this dickhead has like the front page of every known newspaper that he, by the way, tells you never to trust. Does it ever strike you guys as fucking weird that they bitch long and hard about the mainstream media? That's all we hear about. The corporate media, the mainstream media. It's corporate mainstream, the mainstream corporate media, right? That's all we ever hear, that they're going to, like, from this asshole, they're controlled by the lizard, alien baby juice sucking monster things. But when it comes to like Jimmy Dore, they're the corporate, they're media, the establishment media, the whatever. They're always citing them. One would think that if these are untrustworthy purveyors of propaganda, that you could, that are always just trying to program your brain, you would never be able to pull a fucking headline even to support your thesis. Yes, Alex Jones kills a lot of trees unnecessarily. And that's just because, from years of sitting in that chair and taking bloat meds, there's no way he uses how can I put this? A refined amount of toilet tissue. I love you guys too, Tom and Mark. Hi, Mark. Sarpus, thank you guys. Hey, Wes. I can't believe people actually watch him. I can't either, actually, anymore. It's any of these assholes. It's one of the reasons why I'm as proud as I am about a lot of the predictions that I've made being rock solid. Not kind of like, well, if you think about it, it did work out. Like, no, it was Biden-Harris. They did win 306. They did beat Clinton they did beat Clinton's numbers by double and Trump's numbers by over 7 million, which was the number I called. Like, I warned everybody about COVID before it even had a name. Like, I feel pretty good about my track record, right? Right, guys? And eventually someone will wake up and go, this Sparks guy isn't talking out of his ass. Just saying. Meanwhile, this dickhead has been calling the end of the world for fucking ever. It's right, him and Glenn Beck, it's right around the fucking corner. And there's so many corners, it's like a bag of D&D dice. Hal, don't post clips right before you get live. I get excited you're going live. I'm sorry, that was my bad. Um, I could do Karnak on the Tonight Show. This is true. This, by the way, this eye line right now is me looking at the chat room, just so you know. That's where the chat room is with me looking at you. So if you see me looking in this area, I'm looking at you guys. That's where you are. That's how I know. Oh, hey, my Captain Cheeto. There he goes. Why doesn't Alex Jones get booted for misinformation? Well, first of all, you don't get booted from your own thing. And I have no interest in anyone being booted from their own setup. I don't give a rat fuck. He's on Rumble, and they're operating as a, free speech, ISIS-friendly, beheading and child porn friendly zone, I suppose, because they'll let any asshole on there, clearly. If you'll notice, it says down here in the corner, Rumble. See that? Right down here. Yeah, right there. Boink. So if they want to carry his shit, they can carry his shit. I don't care. I'm not afraid of this idiot. I would debate Alex Jones on any point, his choice. Even shit he brings up rando, like, Pentaverate level stuff. I read David Icke's book in 1994. It's like first or second one, the big one. When I was writing a script, I was ghostwriting for a sci-fi writer when I was working like 3 tiers down at Paramount. Writing a script so that the writer I worked for could keep his development deal with Neufeld Ramey. I managed to work for the only sci-fi writer in the country that doesn't like to read. They're not all nerds, apparently, like me. So, anyways, anything he wants to bring up, I'm cool. Just start from fucking scratch. Quite frankly, any of these folks that I do videos about, like, I wouldn't enjoy it because, especially if virtually it'd be hard because of the back and like the distance and the overlap. Whenever you have a guest, it's a pain in the ass because there's a delay and all that stuff. And in person, he stunk when I met him. There's no way that's changed. It has to have gotten worse. And it's weird because it's like a red wine stench. That's all I can. You know exactly what I'm talking about. If you know, like the office smells like coffee, and he smells like he bathed in red wine, and there's a hint of BO and then a mint to try and cover it. It's god awful. It's just awful. So I wouldn't like to be in the room, is what I'm saying. Anyways, this is called apparently. You heard lately that he's been bitching about the fact that he thinks QAnon is a psyop. And boo fuckity who. Basically because it was stealing his business model. That's why he's always had a problem with Q, because he didn't have the inside lane. So everybody did. That's what made it successful. And he was unable to monetize the fucking thing. So under this, learn how the deep state is planning to use Jan 6th to steal the erection, I suppose. That's why you need his dick pills. Exclusive. Steal the what? What are they going to steal? I don't know. I would like to say, for the record, how is it that these dickheads always seem to manage to give the greatest weapon to their opponents, right? They're going to turn this against us. Level 3 Hype Train already on Twitch. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget to subscribe. Look, we've got 1,032. Oh my God. We're getting there. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. I haven't forgotten about you guys at all. We're trying to hit 35,000. We're trying to hit 100, but, baby steps. Unlike some of these assholes I cover, I am not buying followers. I'm not going to do it. That doesn't stop any of you from buying them for me. I'm kidding. That's just joking. Okay, let's look at this.
Really important.
Oh boy, what's really important?
And so now we know it's really important because they are running on it.
Hi, dum-dum. I suppose we mean it is January 6th, but I don't know who the moron at InfoWars is that cuts your clips together so that they pick up mid-thought.
In the midterms in 183 days.
Especially when, I mean, they could cut some of the gaps out if they're worried about time.
Washington Post articles, Wall Street Journal articles.
Right. All the shit you tell people never to read because it's either a psyop or lies or propaganda.
New York Times articles this weekend that specifically say the committee is honing in on Roger Stone and Alex Jones for working with Trump and directing people to attack the Capitol.
Yeah, that's because it's May, and the live hearings are going to be in June, and people love the story, but there won't be any real explosive news in theory unless they bring somebody else in for questioning because they get a last minute subpoena and the person actually has to honor it until like for a month basically. So they're gonna have stories like this.
100% BS.
And if anyone knows bullshit,
we don't have a motive. It made us look like fools.
Well, only because you lost, fucko. Like, believe me, if a team loses the Super Bowl by being fucking trounced like they're a toddler flag football team, their mistake was showing up, not the actual existence of the game.
B, there's no evidence of it because it's not true.
Okay, I'm glad that's the second part. Embarrassment first, lie second.
And C.
To shining sea.
I wasn't talking to President Trump for over a year before that ever happened. And
well, right. They say you were talking to Roger Stone. Roger Stone was talking to Rudy Giuliani, and Rudy Giuliani was doing that. They were creating a stiff arm plan. They were counting on assholes like you to do this anyways. And then other people you were connected to were coordinating that stuff.
Roger Stone.
Who would later get bribes. By the way, can we just, for a fucking second, recognize that this asshole, if this was on the other side of the aisle, he would take every tenuous link and stitch it together into a welded conspiracy that is, obviously, clearly a plot from the very, very top. And yet when it's him, he's like, I don't even know. What did I have to gain? I mean, it sounds like bullshit. Doesn't sound like bullshit.
Was not involved in any of the planning of even our legal lawful events on the 5th or the 6th.
Well, yeah, he didn't have to. He was just arranging for you guys to have access. And by the way, that clearly means that. And is this another one of those fucking loop videos where he plays the same thing 3 times? I don't know. I don't want to judge, but your show looks toxic, Alex.
We've talked to a lot of the lawyers.
We have talked to a lot of the lawyers. The Lawyer is one of the greatest Cro-Magnon lawyers that exists.
Or the 6. We've talked to a lot of the lawyers.
Of the lawyers.
That are representing January 6th political prisoners.
Yes, political prisoners. Just like the guys that got released on bail or their own recognizance, except they threatened to murder Congress people, and not all of them Democrats. And it's weird the judge won't let them out.
Almost all of them are just completely innocent.
Just completely innocent. Sure, there's video of them beating a cop while they're like, fuck this guy, with a Blue Lives Matter flag, macing cops, charging the line, attacking, like, unprovoked violence and stuff, and everybody else went the fuck home. But these assholes but they're completely innocent. All of them virgins. None of them have ever even masturbated. They all wear collared shirts all the way buttoned up. And if you want to hear about the Lord, they're willing to sit down with you.
Of anything.
Of anything. Fuck you. Nobody is innocent, completely innocent of everything.
And then those that are guilty are just guilty of going into a building and maybe getting in a shoving match with the police.
Yeah. Yeah, just you went into a building, you get into a shoving match with the police, according to Alex Jones. Yeah, you ought to just let's say for shits and giggles that building is your ex's. and the cops are there because you have a restraining order and you have a gun on you, and they decide to take you in, and you shove them before you reach for it. And according to Alex, the cops and your ex are completely in the wrong, all the way up to the point that they're in the coroner's van. Speak up!
But having that knowledge,
we're just all bees today.
but also researching this on a daily basis.
On daily basis. Daily basis is a dark web search engine. Or he could have been trying to say daily basis, and he used up one of his soft consonants early in the show. And
having my background knowledge on the deep state and knowing that the same FBI provocateur false flag team that ran.
Can you imagine being an alien, not speaking our language, and just going, how did this dog get a microphone?
And the fake Whitmer kidnapping operation that was then transferred to run January 6th. We know that thing was a giant honeypot that we were all lured into.
Well, you do now. Yeah, it was a giant honeypot that we were lured into. We now know how fucking stupid we were and how easily led we are.
That the Capitol Police were ordered to stand down.
No, they weren't. Well, some of them had to because they were overwhelmed like 1,000 to 1.
Half their numbers were sent away that day. That Trump's request for 10,000 National Guard was refused.
Yes, because what kind of an asshole, A, thinks you need National Guard troops surrounding the fucking Capitol just because some asshole's having a rally? Nobody really takes it that seriously. Well, we do now. But I'm guessing if Biden had a rally on January 6th of 2024, people would be like, oh, I don't know. Do we need, or maybe we need lawn chairs? Because make sure there's shuffleboard. We'll be fine.
He could have overridden it, but Milley threatened to quit if he did.
Because he was pulling up friendly National Guard from states that were involved in the lawsuit to try and overturn the election. Odd. It wasn't the California National Guard or the Washington State or Oregon or fucking even Illinois. It wasn't Georgia National Guard. It was oddly Texas and Florida. That's weird. Mississippi and Alabama.
And so now we know it's really important because they are running on it in the...
Jesus Christ. Get on with it. I think this video is only 20 minutes long because of the pauses. I don't know, Alex. I don't want to judge. But if you want to have a career in broadcasting, you're going to have to do something about the dead air. At least I have an excuse. Sometimes my mic is off and I have a cat in my lap.
The midterms in 183 days. Washington Post articles.
Why does it look like you have a migraine because you haven't shit in 3 days?
Wall Street Journal articles. New York Times articles this weekend that specifically say
we've seen this part.
The committee is percent BS. Talking to President Trump for over a year before that ever happened.
Right.
Just incredible that they're trying to demonize lawful First Amendment activities. And then I see the same headline.
Demonize lawful First Amendment. They're not. First of all, the government is, I don't know if you know this, government is not in the demonization process. And even if they do, it means fuck all legally. The president, and you can see this from the Trump years, could come out to the podium and call somebody a prick, and it has legally it has zero impact on their life. As a matter of fact, they might be able to sue him for slander just for the fuck of it because of his position in government. They're not demonizing anyone. And anybody who didn't storm the Capitol went the fuck home. They didn't round people. You were there with other people. The fuck out of here.
Everywhere they've run against me. Oath keepers are talking to prosecutors and they're exposing their communications.
He's got a bit of a nervous look. He's got that kind of like, oh shit, Jeff Greenberg has some of my texts, kind of a look on his
And
face.
it's going to go all the way up to Trump.
Alex mumbles like Sling Blade. Yeah. That boy sure did charge up them steps. Mm-hmm. They should have never taken that flag up there and gonna be used against us. Mm-hmm. Aliens have been down here a bunch of times, probing me and my rectal parts. Mm-hmm. But every time they gave me French fried potatoes and mustard, and I like it. Mm-hmm. That Alex Jones, he lives inside his heart. That's a mighty big place to live. Sorry.
They might as well say they're communications with the Martians.
Don't look at me. Are there? Rung, rung, rung.
And then I know the individuals that they're talking about because I've seen them in the press.
Seriously, how do you expect me not to pull this video and put fart noises in this later? How do you expect me not to do it? These gaps are ginormous. I'm sorry, but it must be done.
I've met some of them, and I like Oath Keepers overall. I think they had a good mission to promote following your oath.
Hey, he's got the same like ad block problem I have. That's the great equalizer.
They did great work for over a decade. I think some bad things happened on January 6th. We're not sure.
Yeah, we're not sure if any of this is bad. This doesn't look bad to you. This doesn't look chaotic and shitty. Look, it's the 3%er flag.
All the specific.
Isn't that what that is? It's either that or a giant piece of juicy fruit with 3 strips of big red.
So we know it was a honeypot provocateur.
Hold on. Stop calling it a honeypot unless there was an orgy in the dome. And if there wasn't, where's that video? I mean, none of us want to see it, obviously. It looked like a hog farm in a windstorm.
But I know some of the people they're quoting here.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you're in trouble.
As saying they're talking to the feds.
Yeah, you just know these people who are talking to the feds. How do you know them? What are they to you, Alex?
And they're going to expose the chain of command.
By the way, what's with the urine-colored InfoWars graphic? Why is it pee-pee tape day?
And I just find it hard to believe that those people would actually make stuff up and lie.
Well, yeah, I mean, I find that hard to believe too, because if it turns out they were lying, the deal they made will be rescinded and they'll probably go to jail. So they're probably telling the truth about you. Mm-hmm.
But I'm not worried about it because I didn't do anything wrong.
I'm never gonna do anything. I don't know about you guys. I'm totally convinced. Watch it. I'm not worried about anything because I didn't do anything wrong. I don't even know Hey, listen here, Spinach Chin. I never even saw these assholes before.
Just find it hard to believe.
Yeah, it's the golden shower day, right?
That those people.
It does look like someone's peeing on him in slow motion. I don't know what this is.
People would actually make stuff up and lie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, man, I don't believe it. All right, sister. Okay.
But I'm not worried about it because I didn't do anything wrong. But it is in.
But I wouldn't even do anything wrong. One of the things I would like to say, Your Honor, if I may, I know I am here, but I am too sick to testify.
Hundreds of publications a week conservatively. It's on national TV every day on one channel or another.
Well, it's a lot of channels. There's like 500 channels, and it's mostly you're seeing the same story again. You know, they do re-air. Never mind.
That I'm going to jail and Roger Stone's going to jail.
Yeah, but, I mean, honestly, the fashion police.
And all the rest of this. And it is a bizarre feeling.
Wait till you get in jail. Sorry.
to know you did nothing wrong, to know there's no evidence you did anything wrong.
It's weird. I can see it's almost like he's sitting across from Hillary Clinton at a bar, and she's like, tell me about it.
To know that you had no motive, and to know that you tried to stop what happened.
Did you? I tried to stop by just letting everybody else do it and cowering in my hotel room, which was oddly paid for by a friend of Ginny Thomas's and Judge Janine.
And quite frankly, I'm not asking for a medal, but
if you're handing them out, I do deserve.
Everybody else just stood there.
What'd you do instead of just standing there?
And the 1,000 undercover FBI agents and hostage rescue team people that were there on record sat there while I tried to stop what was happening when I got there in the middle of it, and I did turn thousands away from going in, and sat there with their thumbs in their mouths, or worse.
Oh, all right. I hope they weren't doing them both at the same time. Maybe it was neighbors, like... It sounds like how Roger Stone would play Red Rover. I'm just saying. Stick the right thumb of the person on your left in your mouth. Stick your right thumb in the butthole of the person to your right. Stick your thumb in the person at your mouth. Okay, no, I got that wrong. Let's start out. Everybody pull out. Now do the other. Swap over. Crisscross your arms and start. And so
it really infuriates me.
Really? To be falsely accused of something that you had apparently no desire to even do, and to have somebody go on record every night on television and radio and shit talk you for months. Imagine if it had happened, I don't know, for decades. How the fuck are we... What, is this asshole literally boo-hooing about being falsely accused of something? For fuck's sake.
That they, bare minimum, knew there was some groups planning to go in there and get somewhat violent.
Did they? They knew bare minimum there were some groups that were going in there to get violent. You mean Oath Keepers and 3%ers and the fuckers you were talking to?
Democrats do it all the time in other capitals, but I agree.
We do? Oh, he means like Baghdad?
It's not a good thing.
Yeah, it's not a good thing. I mean, and by the way, by other capitals, he means targets in black neighborhoods, which he doesn't give a rat fuck about.
And the evidence is overwhelming. Went ahead and actually helped provocateur and get the whole thing started.
Yeah, they got it started. I mean, you guys obviously came up with the whole tasing a cop till he had a heart attack, and that was yours. That was I don't want to take any of that creativity away from you, Alex. You know what I mean? All the FBI supposedly did was hide in the trees like Predator and go, over here, over here, over here.
Well, they then watched me show up in the...
There he is. Up in them trees. I see you.
Middle of it.
Predator? Anybody? Just me? All right.
With my crew and get tear gas at a distance and try...
From a distance, the FBI is tear gassing us. From a distance, I'm crying and puking on my shirt.
Try to stop it.
I tried to stop from a distance.
And then they got the nerve
to cite Axios after calling everybody corporate media propagandists for the deep state and for aliens and shit.
Not just at the January 6th committee, but they got two different FBI Justice Department teams. They admitted this to us.
Did they?
Trying to make a fake case and indict me.
Well, and here's the thing. I don't know if you know this, but undercover cops all the time. Sorry, everybody didn't like From a Distance. Didn't like me singing From a Distance. This asshole, apparently this is the portion where Alex Jones admits that he believes undercover police officers should have to wear uniforms because it's unfair when he gets busted. Is Broadway next, Hal? Yes, it is, Linda. Yes, it is. And
then the cherry on top is
it's It's more of a watermelon or a I don't know what like a one of those oversized state fair winning butternut squashes. Now, I'm not saying I want you to go up there and kick some ass, but if you did, I'll be right there behind you, facing the other direction, eating a snow cone.
They then
Yeah, this doesn't look at all like you're guiding people to the destruction of our liberties. These people are monsters. And remember, this apropos, he's not standing on this pile of shit or wherever he is, riding the shoulders of his supporters like Bono, apropos of nothing. You have to understand, the only reason Alex Jones is holding a bullhorn and this crowd is listening to him is because he spent decades telling them that the people in the Capitol building are baby eaters. These assholes want to like act like their activist career started that afternoon. Like, I'm just saying some stuff. Yeah, stacked on top of all the stuff that you've said over the years, that these people are not just political people you disagree with or maybe have a different ethical priority than you have or a different philosophical or religious view than you have, but that they are fucking monsters and they murder children and fucking drink milkshakes made out of mulched babies. Then you stand up there and go, these are the monsters I was telling you about. And then you're like, I didn't know they were going to run up there.
leak through the press lies that, oh, I'm coming out of the dark. I'm coming in out of the cold. I'm going to tell them everything.
Oh, okay. This is what he's really dealing with. Are we getting to this part? Whereas his own friends are turning on him like, you better not fucking, because of the texts I've sent you.
I'm going to rat Trump out and all this made up stuff because they were calling us over and over again for months asking us to come meet with them. And I said, no.
Trump or?
They said, what have we come to you? I said, well, why don't you drop your fake charges on Owen Schroyer? Why don't you give me written questions? I have nothing to hide, but I'm not.
I have nothing to hide, but I'm not actually. What do you think I'm going to do? Go into the Capitol? I've seen violence break out in that place.
I'm going to get in a perjury trap where they get some lying stool pigeon to say I did one thing, and then they say I lie when I'm not lying, so they can indict me like Martha Stewart. You think?
Yeah, that's not how that works. They indicted Martha Stewart because they had the how she actually bought and sold stocks on the day she got information, so she heard things that day. Whatever. This is that's not how you get in a perjury trap. The way you get in a perjury trap is they have your fucking emails and your texts, asshole. You know you should call who might be able to if you're genuinely innocent, this will help. If you're not, you're fucked. You should talk to Hunter Biden. He's been pushing back on lies like this for a while. He might be able to give you some pointers. I don't know.
I'm stupid?
Yes, I do. Yes, I think you're stupid. I think you're dumb too. Dumb is sort of an accident. You know, stupid's on purpose.
I mean, I'm not that smart, but I'm not an idiot.
Well, I mean, there's gray everywhere. You know what I mean? Intellectually.
You are a discredited government agency that ran fast and furious and shipped tens of thousands of guns into Mexico on record to blame the Second Amendment in America.
Yeah, you're just going to pull that out of your ass. Massive 50 caliber rifle used to shoot down helicopters found inside El Chapo's Mexican house was sold through government fast and furious. Yeah, dude, how do you think undercover drug stings work? All of this stuff went through. And that's how they bust people. That's how they ultimately got El Chapo, you stupid motherfucker. They actually got him. Part of the reason is because they built a case over years. Good God.
So now Mexico can
fucking January 2016.
Sue gun makers, which they're doing. And then a bunch of the guns.
What? How is that related? The fuck? What is it, under the El Chapo rule?
Got shipped to ISIS and Al Qaeda. That's all come out.
Sure. Well, yeah, because they sold some stuff to. That's how like fake drug deals work too. They don't just sell baby laxative and hope nobody snorts it. Can you imagine what Don Jr.'s day would be like if that happened? He'd be, first of all, he'd barely be able to stand up, and secondly, he'd be shitting baby food all day.
Yeah, El Chapo's 50 cal sold
with a bunch of other shit in a tracked shipment to find out where it went from and where it went to. Dude, the cartels are using chemicals to make fentanyl. The precursors to fentanyl, some of the stuff most of it they get from China. Some of it they're getting from companies in Arizona. The FBI is involved in trying to stop that. They can't stop the China-Mexico part of it because those are foreign countries. We have to use the State Department to deal with that because it's not our fucking country. We can stop it when it comes at the border. But those things being made in Arizona, shipped to Mexico, and turned into fentanyl is what the FBI gets involved in. And one of the ways they get involved in that is they sell a little bit of it or buy a little bit of it and go, yep, that's the fucking guy. There he is. He's on video. There he is. Yeah. Serrano's got the discs. Serrano's got the discs.
Through that operation with the ATF.
Yeah, look.
False flag.
The false flag. They fucking got him. That's him. You stupid son of a bitch. How does this work?
I mean, to try to list the crimes of this government.
All right. This government. Fuck you, man. The fact that you can even have this show shows that nothing that you say about this government is true. If any of the stuff he's been saying about rather than run-of-the-mill, either corruption or failed systems that we all work on all the time, the constant gardening of actually having to have a fucking working government and a working society, which no one gets to skip at all. Everything outside of any of that shit was true. Remember FEMA camps? Remember how they were making plastic tubs to round up conservatives? Remember Jade fucking Helm? Remember, like, this asshole did months on fucking Jade Helm, accusing our soldiers of giving their gear to UN shock troops so they could plan to, I don't know, take Texas or some bullshit when it's already part of the fucking country. How he didn't, after Jade Helm turned out to be nothing, I'll give you 3 fucking years. Not like, well, it went off without a hitch. Well, maybe they're planning something in the future. No, fuck that. Wait 3 years and then come in and burn your own fucking studio to the ground. How fucking dare you? And he went on like this for fucking ever. And then when nothing came of it, when Jade Helm was just an exercise, America used its own land to do a major military exercise to deal with the possibility of an invasion or terrorism, because they have to war game these things so that they have a strategy in case real shit happens. What does he do? Does he go, I was wrong about Jade Helm. I apologize to our military soldiers and our veterans and our generals who take an oath to protect this fucking country, while I demonized them and added them to the pile of baby milkshake drinkers. No, he bumped off and just started calling Sandy Hook a false flag and saying that the parents who lost their fucking children were lying. They never had children in the first place. Fuck off. And now he wants to boo-hoo? Good Lord.
And the criminals that have taken it over would take hours, but it's just too rare.
Well, I'm sorry. You've got extra time if you need to talk. Just fill the gaps where you're thinking.
It's just, it's too much, but here's why listeners need to care.
Because Eric Holder was not forthcoming about the details of Fast and Furious, because it ultimately ended up in them catching El Chapo, and they were in the middle of it. And also, they're now saying, okay, the guys who did Fast and Furious, next thing to tell me is the same military that brought us Vietnam is going to tell me that some of the soldiers that fought in Afghanistan and Iraq were serving honorably. You going to tell me that? Like, fuck off.
The Justice Department and the Capitol Police, that there are imminent terror attacks on Supreme Court justices and on members of Congress and on others, while Democrats firebomb buildings and burn things down and attack things and beat people up and violently protest outside Supreme Court justice houses.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to take 2020 George Floyd protests, all the protests and the riots, and stack them up and act like the people who are outside of the Supreme Court justices' houses are doing the same fucking thing because they're spray painting chalk outlines to represent dead mothers and spray painting fucking coat hangers on the ground. Conflate them. Go ahead.
The corporate media and the
corporate media. You mean all the media's sources you've been citing as referential to the story you're fucking telling? Don't fucking do this. This drives me crazy. All the fucking time. The corporate media is the corporate media. All the corporate media does is this. Meanwhile, as I can prove to you with this clip from the page from Washington Post, the page from the Washington Times, the page from the Guardian, here's the Daily Mail, all these corporate entities that tell you this. I'm using the details in their story to prove my point. Get the fuck out of here.
Government Gestapo, the brown shirts, the Praetorian.
The Praetorian Guard.
They're saying that we, the people, the populace, are the ones that are going to be violent, which again means they're priming the false flag.
Oh, I see. It all comes back to Jade Helm, I guess.
False flag alert. False flags be blamed on patriots imminent.
False flags on patriots are imminent. Or women are pissed that their rights are being taken back to the early 20th century.
And
oh God, fuck! Please sell
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
A lot of crypto donations, which is keeping us on air.
Not as much as they used to, I guess, asshole.
I'll salute all those. You know who you are.
Yes, please. If you're going to support InfoWars, please use crypto. I'm sure it's not making them sweat at all.
Given the donations, please go.
Also, crypto can be tracked. All crypto payments are as easily tracked as any credit card payment. Sorry. What do you think? You get to operate outside the system magically with the whole system unaware of you and yet still buy the shit that's in the system with everyone else?
Go to info.
This is like an asshole who thinks that I can sexually assault anybody I want as long as I'm not in the room with him. If I reach through a window and I'm outside the building.
Wars.com /
No. / whatever. Okay.
Whatever it is, whether it's $1,000 or $1 million.
Yeah. Fuck off.
Oh, the real revolution is happening now. Infowars.com.
It's infotainmentwars.com. Like and subscribe. We don't need all the documents and shit all over the desk. We can even with a cracked screen, this iPad works just fine. Yeah.
/ crypto and all of you that donated, we salute you and thank you.
He's gonna run the same fucking clip again, isn't he? It's gonna be the
same. All right, let me get back to.
Yeah, let's get back. Ooh, I didn't know they were taking calls.
The permanent bureaucracy.
Mental note.
The permanent state, the deep state, those are all.
Yeah, they're all the same thing. Permanent state, deep state, establishment, the corporate blah, 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 rhinos. That's, yeah, basically they all overlap. They're one big sludge of anybody you wish you were a part of, but at the same time smoke too much weed to trust.
Academic names that go back more than 40 years.
40? That's it? We're going to the mid-80s?
For what is inside the system.
Okay, for inside, I see. But what's outside the system? What's adjacent to the system?
And when I would talk about that 25 years ago, the media would say he's insane.
Right. Now they just say you're a grifter and an idiot.
There's no such thing as a deep state.
And still, there isn't. What they mean by deep state and what a lot of people mean by establishment is simply bureaucracy. Sorry, if you're going to have a country this big with the world's largest economy and a government to match, you're going to have some bureaucracy. You're going to have some appointed people, some hired people. You're going to have some outsourced departments, and you're going to have some cabinet people who are chosen or people who are selected by elected representatives because we can't afford to have a fucking election for every fucking janitor in the federal government. It's fucking dumb. Deep state.
There's no such thing as a stay-behind network. There's no such thing as any of this.
There's no what? There's no such thing as a stay-behind network? Oh my God. Forget the Illuminati. It's the babysitters.
When I would talk about that 25 years ago, the media would say he's insane. There's no such thing as a deep state. There's no such thing as a stay-behind network. There's no such thing as any of this. Now today...
Yeah, by the way, what kind of a fucking moron thinks that when we get a new president, the whole government switches over? Who would even want that? Right? He was saying Bill Clinton was bringing Russian troops, disguised UN troops to take over. He's a loony and a con man. Yes. And he's made millions of dollars. Hopefully a lot of those millions will go to the Sandy Hook families.
They have meetings on television on C-SPAN with Brennan and Clapper. You remember those a few years ago where they said, Trump will be gone. We have the bureaucracy and we're going to have a coup and remove him.
They were that clear about it, were they? We're going to have a coup and remove him. I had no idea that the deep state was so shallow in their vocabulary.
And they were doing that to show their power and exercise their power.
Which I guess they have. And yet they were able to unseat Trump using a tricky thing called an election that he lost fair and square. But somehow, as try as they might, as hard as they can't stop Alex Jones from pissing on himself on television.
For their gangs, to encourage their gangs inside the government and corporations and the judiciary.
Please tell me that there's a gang inside the judiciary that looks like the baseball Furies from the Warriors. Can you dig it? All right.
And media.
Look what we have here. We've got the DOJ right beside the FBI. Nobody is wasting nobody.
To break the law, to do whatever they wanted, to leak information, you name it. And that's what you see now is populists and Christians and conservatives.
All three things I would never use to describe you to anyone.
Aren't breaking the law.
Well, that's why you're not currently in jail. You just encouraged others to do it.
We're not leaking information.
Well, that's him telling his buddies not to get pissed at him.
We are not doing...
By the way, this has got to be rough, I have to say. In deference to this dipshit, who is a human being, allegedly. Wouldn't that be funny? Like, I'm a human being just like you are. I got what the fuck is zip? It looks like the creature from the Upside Down. That. Can you imagine cultivating an audience like this fucking monster has for all these years and then them turning on you? Like, I get occasionally, because I don't like, I'm not a big fan of jargon. I try to speak about complex issues in a complex way, that there's some purists out there that don't like me. And so over the years, I've lost a couple of them along the way because I wouldn't just hammer a single nail into someone. I kind of want to be able to talk these things out. I know it's insane, right? And they've kind of split up, but I don't fear any of these people. Ultimately, I think they're good people. They may be misguided, or we just have a difference of opinion on tactic or function, right? Which is totally cool. That's what a democracy is about. But can you imagine cultivating the kind of lunatics that he must have in his base, his prime audience, and then them finally deciding that you're a deep state in disguise, a plant, right? I'll put an Amish hat on Alex. That would be fitting. I don't know. He could do that. Let's see. I'll have to, do I have the, I'll see if it opens. Hold on. We'll see what we can do. It would look right though. He does look like he's ready for a barn
doing
raising.
dirty tricks, and I'm not saying we should.
Roger.
While they, on the other side, are doing anything and everything they want, however they want, and they never get in any trouble for it. So how do we not sink to their level at the same time beat them?
Well, I will say this. Both of these guys who you obviously have a problem with spoke under oath in front of Congress. That's one of the ways that what they're saying doesn't come to bite them in the ass ultimately is because they've said it under oath and they stand by what they say, as opposed to just blathering it into a microphone. And if anybody subpoenas you or tries to call you to talk about stuff, you want to answer your questions on paper so you and your lawyer can weasel your fucking way around it the same way you did in the Sandy Hook trial.
We expose them and let people know the reason they're going bankrupt, the reason their dollar's devalued, the reason their borders are wide open, the reason...
What do you mean? First of all, what are you, not an American now? Fuck you. Texas's economy would collapse if Mexico's economy went down. You understand that? As a singular state, the rest of the country would feel it, but Texas would be fucked. What do you mean there? That's odd. No, you want to strike that as odd? I mean, the fuck is this America First MAGA stuff? And the dude, it's like Trump always saying our country instead of America, as if that what they really mean is the Confederate States.
And there's all this pedophilia going on.
Well, I mean, you're going to have to ask your friends.
It's because these are predatory, very bad, wicked people that...
Again, listen to this motherfucker. He doesn't have an issue with them, that Fast and Furious was a hidden program that eventually, ultimately was successful in helping capture El Chapo, things like that, or that these intelligence guys are giving testimony that he disagrees with, or he doesn't think they're fully forthcoming or whatever. It isn't that. It's that they're fucking pedophiles. Good Lord. And then you're going to stand up with a megaphone on a day like January 6th when Trump has said you're going to be strong or we're not going to have a country, and you're going to stand there and point at that building and say they're all in there. And not expect a bunch of these people, the Ashley Babbitts of the world, fucking lunatics who've had their own empathy for children weaponized against them through this brainwashing bullshit. You don't think those fuckers aren't going to, go, well, these cops have to die because I've got to save the kids. It's exactly what this shit is.
Want to crash the world economy.
No, they don't.
For depopulation. And everything else horrible and evil they do that they enjoy.
40 population? 4 dimensions or 40? There can only be 40,000 people on the earth.
Is just part of the enjoyment of getting to where they're trying to go.
Yeah. It's just, even if they're not successful, destroying the entire world and lowering the Earth's population to 40,000 people, which I guess would be them and 39,000 kids. Whatever the fuck. They're having so much fun getting us there, destroying I wish the world wouldn't be destroyed just so I could keep destroying it. Geez, that's not projection or anything, is it, Alex? If anything sums up Alex Jones's bullshit, this, and the same with the fucking Flashpoint guys and Glenn Beck, the end of the world is right around the corner, but let's not turn that corner because I'm making some sweet fucking scratch.
So getting back to where we are, there's all these headlines everywhere.
Oh, God.
Oath keepers are talking to the feds. Oath keepers are discussing with the feds, conversations with Trump, stuff like this, when none of that happened.
How would you know? If you weren't connected to the Oath Keepers and Trump, and you hadn't spoken to Trump in a year, how the fuck do you know they weren't talking to him? Apparently they say they were. So you do know what they were talking about and who with. You're starting to get a picture why the January 6th committee might want to talk to you, asshole.
None of that went on. And then the control...
Again, how do you know none of it went on if you didn't talk to any of these people? I wasn't talking to any of these folks, but I know exactly who they were talking to and what was said. What?
Old left goes, look, Jones is protecting the Don, his mafia boss. Why? He's saying they didn't, because it's a lie. That's why I'm not protecting Trump.
Well, not anymore. I think you're covering your own ass. I think you got enough to worry about covering for yourself.
But if they're able to demonize and lie about Trump, they're going to be able to demonize the American people.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you as the average American or even world citizen, how can any of us be more innocent than Donald John Trump? Who among us hasn't conspired with our father to keep black people from renting our apartments? Who among us hasn't wandered through an accounting firm that we were hiring and said, I don't want black people counting my money. I want the people with the small hats. Who among us doesn't have 27 credible sexual assault allegations against us, including very possibly a 13-year-old girl? Who among us, right, Alex, hasn't told Jeffrey Epstein a joke that embarrassed him? All right.
They're branding, all demonstrating, all protesting, open borders, gun control, election fraud, lockdowns, forced injections as terrorists.
No, they're not. If that was true, then all the other channels complaining that nobody from the George Floyd riots, for example, has gone to jail, which a bunch of them have, or that none of the Antifa people have gone to jail, which a bunch of them have.
They're trying to brand all...
The Georgia Guidestones is his reference for the depopulation? Oh, okay, that's why it all starts in Georgia.
Opposition in America as terrorism and really bring us into a full-bore, authoritarian, top-down police state. We aren't getting there. We are deep inside of it now.
Are we? Is that why it's yellow? I mean, it looks like you're in the rotten outer colon of InfoWars. So, that stuff that's happening in Shanghai. I don't know if you know this, but that's 10 times worse and it's happening right now in the United States. You think you can go outside? Fucking try it. See what happens to you. Go make a cardboard sign and stand outside of a Supreme Court justice's house. See if they don't call you a terrorist. And actually, you can go home. Oh, as long as you don't engage in any violence, you're free to go. Oh, weird. Well, one thing I do know for sure is we still don't have a fucking, free speech. We don't have a First Amendment rights in this country, or somebody like Alex Jones would be able to go to a studio every single day with a ginormous backdrop that's paid for with thousands of dollars of money that he got from his viewers that keep the lights on at the... Oh, well, shit.
Complete with a ministry of truth?
No, it's a misinformation governance board, so they can check on messaging from outside the country coming in. That's why it's in DHS and not a part of the FBI or the DOJ. If you notice, if you weren't fucking stupid, you'd be aware that that's specifically why it's in DHS and why its governance has to do with the permeable borders of information in the United States, and the fact that the Chinese, the Iranians, the Russians have chosen to weaponize it. Even the Saudis, in an attempt to undermine our standing in the world, which you used to apparently give a shit about, but apparently ever since you were replaced with, by an alien after Jade Helm, you don't seem to care about anymore. You slip every so often, don't you, Alex? And you say your country when you're talking about America, their country when you're talking about America, when you're supposedly in it. How do we know you're not on a base on Mars?
With sensors and surveillance and all the controls?
Yeah, all the controls. You mean the fader on the mixer that's your mic is going through that allows it to go out on the airwaves and on radio and on some cable systems and on the internet? Fucking hell.
When America does something, it does it big. And boy, are we doing it big here. So...
Somebody just made a boom boom in his pants.
When I see these headlines, I don't believe them.
Well, then why are you even worried? What the fuck are you worried about? whether you believe him or not, apparently, again, this might be him telling the truth to everybody. He may very well be saying, I don't believe these headlines, but I'm worried that some of my asshole, nutcase, psychopath followers will believe them. And now I'm scared to go to my car, not because the deep state's coming to get me, not because of aliens or lizard people, not because of the, a Jewish space laser is going to be targeting me. No, it's because some rando incel fuckwad that I sold dick pills to for years is going to go, wait a minute, this asshole's full of shit. It's why he has security. Alex Jones does not have security because he's worried about me or you or any of the people who mock him on Twitter or anywhere else. Alex Jones has security because of his own fucking viewers.
Now, may there be some fake informants inside the Oath Keepers that were there all along?
Well, you can't have a fake informant. You can either have an informant or you can have an undercover agent. The undercover agent would be fake. They would be pretending to give a shit about whatever you're pretending to give a shit about. Listen up, Alex. This is good stuff. I'm glad you're paying attention. You know, Alex, an informant is a legitimate member of an organization who either has second thoughts about the tactical applications of what's being done in that organization, and therefore is concerned that it might go too far, kill some innocent people and the like. That it would be someone who, that the Timothy McVeighs of the world would have to exclude from their discussions so as not to be found out. And that's why you're always trying to get a hold of people like that in any dangerous organization. And then there are undercover agents who never were a part of the group, but pretend to be in an attempt to undermine the organization because of its dangerous goals and the fact that it might try to kill people or that innocents might die or even guilty people might die, because that's my... you get my point. He gets my point, don't you? Sorry, Aaron's saying, anyone who feels it's necessary and appropriate to discuss Alex's weight, please watch Liberal Dan's video he posted yesterday about fat shaming. I've said this many times before. There's fat and then there's bloated. What Alex Jones has here is, I'm sure he's got some element of him that is overweight because of lethargy or, bad eating habits. He's bloated from the stuff he takes. Just saying. And there's a very distinct difference between that. Again, I'm sort of oddly sticking up for you and also giving you a warning, Alex. I'm just saying. I'm just saying there's too many lead and heavy metals in your dick pills, and they don't put lead in your pencil. That's a euphemism, you prick you.
That will now speak for the Oath Keepers and help.
Well, no, they'll inform on the Oath Keepers because of what they either recorded or conversations they engaged in digitally, emails, text messages, recorded voicemails and like, which they can turn over, and then they can actually speak to conversations they were witness to or had themselves, but not secondhand ones. That would be hearsay. As we have all learned many, many times over from the Deb Hurd trial. And so, no, this isn't new.
Help direct them into their prison cells? Yes, there's no doubt that's happening. But I know when I see headlines that the Oath Keepers are running around.
Well, that's weird. You didn't that cop just fell down, did he? Is that what happened? He just tripped. Those Capitol Police, man, just clumsy.
Around lying about people. I don't believe it.
You don't believe it? All right, there's obviously, maybe he just got lip filler.
And you know why I don't believe it? Because the...
Thanks, 250. I appreciate it.
Same.
And Anna spells her name with one N, and I hope she doesn't have COVID, and if she does, I hope she gets well soon. Even though she's an awful person. Yeah.
Media that's saying that says I called the feds a month ago and said I've got information, but give me immunity and I'll tell you what really happened. No, they came to me and said, we want to talk to you. And I said, give me total immunity so you can't make up stuff and charge me with perjury.
Oh, so you did? Fucking hell. Wait a minute. What? Dude, that's the same thing. I didn't call them. They didn't call me. I didn't call them. They called me, asked me for help, and I was like, give me immunity and glad to. What the fuck? You don't need immunity if you're not guilty of other shit. fuck? Listen to that.
And said, I've got information, but give me immunity and I'll tell you what really happened. No, they came to me and said, we want to talk to you. And I said, give me total immunity so you can't make up stuff and charge me with perjury.
It's a true story. Fuck you, dude. Do you, oh my fucking God. Do you think anybody in this asshole's audience would accept that if Hillary Clinton said that during the Benghazi hearing, like in an interview, do you think everybody in his audience will go, well, I mean, that's what you're going to do? Get the fuck.
And we told him there is no information. Everything we've said's on record.
Well, then why do you need immunity to talk further? This, I mean, fucking get a bigger shovel, dude.
It's all been true. It's all on video.
It is? All of it? So you had a camera on you everywhere you went on January 6th. What'd you do? Shoot a fucking documentary, a fucking YouTube vlog? Where's that lost footage?
It's all transparent. It's all First Amendment protected behavior. You guys are disgraceful, even following the orders to do this.
You guys are disgraceful, even following the orders to do this. You're just following orders. You know what you are? You're National Socialist.
And their spin is Alex Jones called the feds.
No, I didn't call them. I called them back. Okay? I was busy. I had 4 bottles of red wine and a chocolate cake, and my lawyer and I were crying over the payments I was going to have to start making to the Sandy Hook parents, which I have to apparently say now without making air quotes fingers, or I'll go to jail. Fuck, I'm going to burn my throat out if I keep doing this prick.
And he wants to come tell them what really happened.
Yes, that's what you just said you said.
And then they have these maps they put out on TV.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, by the way, Alex Jones is 4 years younger than I am. Almost 5.
That show Trump up at the top, and then Meadows under him, and then and Don Jr., and then Roger Stone, and then me, and it goes down, and it's fiction. Just like it's fiction that the Oath Keepers are a terrorist organization. You know how many videos we have on Man.Video that they'll take down off Twitter or Facebook or YouTube because they don't want you to know the truth? In fact, put it back up, please.
On Manned Up?
Of the Oath Keepers saving police and trying to stop people going in the building on January 6th. We just had it on screen.
Put it back up on screen. Who the fuck do I have working here today? Oh shit, I had to fire everybody because I don't have enough money to run the staff on this giant fucking space station set. And it's below me to just run a show like HAL Sparks does with a button on his fucking desk with a graphic that he made himself. This asshole's a millionaire doing this shit. Wrong about everything. Liar. Bullshit artist. And he can't, and it's below him to run his show the way I do mine? Fucking, is the info...
For TV viewers.
At least he's got the InfoWars cube rotating. I need to make an Infotainment Wars cube down there. Like Infotain and then Ment Wars on a cube.
We'll put it back up for me. I'll give it to radio listeners.
What the fuck? What? How? Gary, flip the fucking switch, man. Gary. Gary. Dear God. Gary's dead. He's been dead for weeks. What's this? He's been poisoned. Alex Jones penis pills. You dumb son of a bitch. Why?
But the reason this is so important is because...
Get on with it. For fuck's sake. I'm on the edge of my seat. Why is this important?
They are framing the American people, just like they're framing the million people that came to D.C. as terrorists.
What? I attention Americans who are watching my show. Those folks that are Americans just like me in the country that I live in, that I will admit to living in and will refer to in the first person as part of my country, the country I live in as an American in America, unlike this asshole who needs to stiff arm the definition all of a sudden. You think he's got dual citizenship in like Turkey, like Mehmet Oz or some shit all of a sudden, so he can bug the fuck out and do his show from, maybe he's going to move in with Glenn Greenwald. They can make Hitler porn together. Yeah, look that up. Yes, Glenn Greenwald, Hitler porn exists.
Because maybe
he liked to be called Dame Herr, as my Damen und Herren, ladies and gentlemen in Russian, but yeah.
A couple hundred, mainly provocateurs.
Yeah, mainly.
Got in fistfights with the police, and then the police opened the doors.
Not so much, because if you'll notice, those people are in jail right now and said, yeah, I punched that cop. This is me. That's me hitting him with the flag and that kind of, yeah. You do realize that it's fucked up that if you're standing near someone and they start punching a police officer for the fuck of it, joining in is not acceptable. Right? You do know that, right? And if you think it is, where the fuck do you get off calling yourself a Christian conservative patriot? What do those words fucking mean?
And based on that, they're trying to roll out their literal re-education camps and their Patriot Act for the American people.
I'm sorry, did we fall through a fucking time hole? Was this 2001?
And then that leads us to this. Obama's AG, Eric Holder, tells me that while he initially thought indicting former President Trump would be too divisive, he now thinks there is evidence enough that he should be held accountable for his role in January 6th.
Right. He waited a whole year and change to come to that conclusion. You might have a case here, asshole, if he said it as the former AG on, say, I don't know, January 10th. I've seen enough. Throw the bastard in jail, right? That would be the concept behind an abuse of power or using one's former status as an AG to drive a case. It's been a year and a fucking half. Secondarily, Obama's AG, he's not in office. It's his opinion. But please, tell me about Huma Abedin. Where should Huma Abedin be right now, Alex Jones? She was Hillary's assistant, right? You were saying like she needs to be chummed or something? Again, what the fuck? Oh, I think this is him trying to tie it to Fast and Furious. You know, the government probe that helped them catch El Chapo.
And let's not forget...
Well, I've already forgotten why I give a fuck.
Who Eric Holder is.
He's, according to you, he's Obama's AG.
He got caught running Fast and Furious.
Where was he going? Was it a speed limit? I mean, is it a jogging-only park? Or was he exec producing one of the movies? They're about family, you know.
Hundreds of thousands of guns total into Mexico, to the drug cartels, and to ISIS and Al-Qaeda.
Yes, and then they used it because of the people who were actually doing the transporting to arrest those people and then eventually bust El Chapo. Yes, it was an undercover sting. That's how undercover stings work. You only give a shit now that they're using it against you.
That all came out in the news, and now he's climbed out from underneath the rock.
Did he? I think he was asked a question on... Maybe they keep him under a rock at NBC News. I don't know. It's pretty cush over there.
And is now saying we need to arrest the president.
No, a former president. And and indict him. There's a difference between that, like arresting him or whatever. He can be indicted and then he could turn himself in, get bail or that kind of stuff, or he could work out some sort of thing to show up for prosecution as a former president. He'd probably be given some sort of leeway just because of the amount of fucking security it would take So, never mind.
Even though he obstructed it and got caught lying, and all of it came out. Now,
opinion. Weird. Opinion from where? Is that Axios? Eric Holder, contempt of Congress and Fast and Furious, what you need to know, David Graham. The scandal that started it, how executive privilege works, and what might come next in the House investigation. 2012, we're going back to
escalate the situation by arresting the real president.
Real former president, which is even weird to say.
That even the majority of Democrats know really won the election. You know, take Jill Biden.
Jill Biden. Oh, yeah, she just went to Ukraine.
Her husband supposedly got more votes than anybody in U.S. history.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Trump was that unpopular, and people felt safer in the hands of Joe Biden. That's the face I'd make if I backed Trump from the beginning as well.
11 million more, but she can only sell 240 books in the first week of her book coming out.
I think that's Meghan McCain you're talking about. Literally, I think he's confusing. That story's about Meghan McCain.
240 something books.
Yeah, Meghan McCain sold 244 books. Yeah, she's blonde too. But hey, maybe you guys don't fucking know. You don't know. He's got the documents. Maybe all blondes are like threaded together through the multiverse, and you can just name one and they qualify.
Oh, but Donald Trump could sell 10 million.
Coloring books. Look, he can't even write one.
None of it's true, and everybody knows it.
Yes, none of it is. It is not true that Jill Biden wrote Meghan McCain's book and Meghan McCain sold Jill Biden's book, and therefore people didn't want to buy Jill Biden's book from Meghan McCain. Fuck me.
But here's the Eric Holder comment.
Merrick Garland, you mentioned, he's now in your old job as Attorney General. There have been critics of him who say that he isn't being aggressive enough around the prosecutions regarding January the 6th. Do you think that's right?
No one knows. I mean, you know, I have great faith in Merrick and in the people at the Justice Department. We won't really know how aggressive they have been until they are before a camera and announcing a decision, either to indict certain people or not indict certain people. But here's my prediction. At some point, people at the Justice Department, perhaps that prosecutor in Atlanta, are going to have to make a determination about whether or not they want to indict Donald Trump. There's going to be.
Would you do it?
Well, I think there's going to be sufficient factual information, and I think that there's going to be sufficient proof of intent. And then the question becomes, what's the impact of such an indictment? I'm an institutionalist. My initial thought was not to indict the former president out of concern of how divisive it would be. But given what we have learned, I think that he probably has.
Like, this is horrifyingly sensible. All of it. I don't know if you guys find this as terrifying as I do, but can you imagine someone considering the multitude of possibilities from a circumstance and not just having a knee-jerk reaction? The fuck is this world coming to?
To be held accountable.
What you have learned is that you guys ordered a stand down and provocateur the operation with the same FBI team that ran the fake Whitmer kidnapping.
Measure it says the DOJ. Okay, it's not related, but
We know
anything that covers Alex's face is fine by me.
there was 1,000
Also, you're citing Business Insider again. Motherfucker.
paramilitary, FBI, and auxiliaries in the crowd, and you did nothing to help those police officers when they were outnumbered by the few hundred thugs.
Well, yeah, they did. They called in more people. They also had some of the police cordon off an area in the building and then start waving people into the building and out another way so that they were away from the people that they were trying to get out of the building, separating them by the halves of the building, because there is the ability to do that. And so the cops that were saying, yeah, come in this way, yeah, come on in this door. They weren't doing it at all the doors. They were doing it at very strategic ones because they were outnumbered, and that's a strategy. That's what you would fucking do. It's like it's like an Infinity Wars.
Your fingerprints are all over, just like your fingerprints are all over Oklahoma City.
What? Oh, I see. The FBI made Timothy McVeigh blow up the building. Right. Now we're going old school Alex Jones. He's playing the hits.
You got caught red-handed in Fast and Furious. You're a terrorist. You're a criminal. You're an enemy of this country, Eric Holder.
It's amazing that he lives in a country that this dude where he can say that and it's not a problem. It's almost as if everything he says is total bullshit.
And you will pay when you are judged by God.
I think that's Obama, actually. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if God looked like him, though. You know, I believe God looks like a friendly face that you respect when you pass, to make it easy to transition out of physical form into the next dimension. And so who you see when you die may represent to some degree a being that kind of is a composite of people you trust and feel okay around, because it's got to be a lot to have the energy of your body torn out of every cell in your body. That's how ghosts happen. You got to be careful. And so when that happens in that process, as you pass into the great beyond for the, for your next round, as you continue to grow as a human being, the waypoint person that greets you, the spirit or whoever it is, I would not be surprised at all if mine looked like Obama. I'd be like, hey. I would take the fact that, I died at 175 and I wasn't ready to go and I was pissed about it. I would take it a little better if Obama was there to greet me. You know what I mean? How would you come on in? I'm going to have a sit down. I'd be like, this is fucking sweet. Are you really Obama? No, I just look like him to make you feel better. Oh, good. Okay, that's cool. All right. What's that screaming noise? Oh, if you go to hell, the person looks like Alex Jones. Weird. Thanks. Hey, Alex, you don't have to print the internet. Yeah, I know, Napa Valley Girl. That's fucking amazing, this dipshit. Hi, Leslie. I would hug him too. I don't know. My guess is that you would have tactile stimulation even still. I'm a big fan of defending your life. I'm fairly convinced that's what happens after you die. By the way, you're watching HAL Sparks Mega Worldwide. We did it. We got through a whole Alex Jones clip. Even the repetitive parts. Also, wait a minute. Did we? What the fuck is going on? I just noticed something. The screen went black. There was silence. And yet, 1752, 2158. This is the year where King George in 1752 decided to destroy the colonies. And 2158 is when we have colonized Mars and the colonies turned against the Earth. It's all coming together! Oh, it's a graphic. Okay, there we go. Oh, nope, there's more of it. Son of a bitch. No. Oh, that's an ad. That's why. I'm like, he's wearing a different shirt. They're selling shit. Okay, yeah, that was the end of it. Fucking hell, there was like 3 minute. That's a 3-minute fucking ad to sell a Liberty or Death shirt. The fuck? Alex Jones was right about nothing. Fucking nothing. Although I think a HAL Sparks is right. HAL Sparks is correct. What HAL said. Just threw the big lightning bolt through it. We did do the whole clip. Thank God. Ugh. Like and subscribe. Give a thumbs up. Support the show in any way you can. Leave a comment below because that's what they say you should do. On the clips that I post and that kind of stuff. And then if you want to become a member, you can join on Facebook, where if you're watching there, you can join on YouTube there if that makes it easier for you. Obviously on Twitch, we're trying to raise our numbers. We're at 1040. Good buddy. Come on now. Go on back. Come on down here, you sumbitch barrel of monkey nuts. Eastbound and down. 1040. Look at that. It's not over. No. We have other clips that aren't nearly as long, but will feel like they're as long. I brace yourselves. Brace yourselves. Brace yourself. Brace yourself. That's my impersonation of Duke in Rocky IV. Yep, here they are. The only person Dinesh D'Souza could find that was more racist than himself, his wife Debbie, who is quite concerned that as a woman from Venezuela, that people browner than she might decide to cross the border. If you fly in an airplane, you're cool. But if you walk here or you take a boat, ugh, right? Also, she is the producer of the Dinesh D'Souza podcast. Not to be confused with the MamaCast. I think that's the T coming up there. Also, are they going to have to rename podcasts? Because Apple just discontinued the iPod. Yeah. Weird. Because, I mean, they got the watch and the thing, and it can hold your music, and it's all the whatever. Yeah. Watch out. The Zoom's going to come back. This was... they put out this movie, 2,000 Mules. He hasn't had a chance to put the poster up yet in the background. They haven't changed all these other fucking bullshit movies. Oh, no, there it is. Oh, yeah, I was wrong. Sorry. Here, look. 2,000 Mules. He's got his big dumb head right in front of it. Nice work, asshole. Your brand new fucking movie, and you can't put it in the middle? What are you thinking? What's going on? There's another one down here covered by her shoulder. There's a lot of free repeaters. Look at that. There's the Lincoln one. There's the Lincoln one with Trump, and Lincoln is the same person. Trump card with Dinesh. You can clearly see him. Yeah, here we go. Hold on one second. Let me scroll this back. Here we go. The name of this one is beautiful. This is good. Why won't Tucker Carlson and team allow any mention of 2,000 Mules? Dun, dun, dun. That's what I was trying for the other one. I screwed up. I hit the wrong button, was what we were trying for. Why won't Tucker Carlson and team allow any mention of 2,000 Mules? It's the deep state of the Tucker Carlson show. They will not allow us to show our movie that shows that there were 2,000 jackasses working behind the scenes to get Trump elected, and I'm one of them. I'm Dinesh. I'm the Mess D'Souza, and this is my wife, Derby. All right. Yes, it's because of the Dominion laws.
Things about this movie is that we...
Hold on.
One of the really remarkable things about this movie...
is that any asshole would call it a movie. No.
Is that we have made it a success. It's been trending pretty much constantly.
Yes, in the same way that Madison Cawthorn face fucking his cousin trended. Not all press is good press. The mess.
I mean, it's very unusual to see the same topic trending for day upon day upon day on Twitter, and it's
not the kind of attention we were hoping for. There seemed to be a lot of jokes about the title and how no one knows what the fuck I'm talking about, and that it's all sketchy and stupid and
funny because I look for it. I'm like 2,000 trending, and I look a few hours later, it's not trending. I'm like, wait. Trending Dinesh. Today was trending D'Souza. Then back to 2,000 Mules. So it's back and forth. But the point to make is that this is a phenomenon. And
oh yeah, it's we're all very. It's amazing. I don't even know how we could. Whew. I'm sorry. What were you talking about?
But we have done.
But all right, sure. Dude's got a career in professional speaking.
That with no help, I should say no help.
Thanks, Debbie. You bitch.
Help from either Fox News or from Newsmax.
It's weird. You mean the companies that are being sued for this bullshit aren't willing to go out on a limb to help you promote your bullshit attack film that will just get them in more trouble?
So let's talk about Fox in a minute. But
yeah. Let's get. I don't have any popcorn. I'm very disappointed.
With Newsmax, it's kind of a pity. I think these guys are...
Yeah, I agree. Newsmax is a pity.
They got a little burned because of the Dominion stuff.
Yeah, the thing that lawsuit that almost destroyed their entire network.
They've become so skittish about the topic. I was booked to go on Grant.
Are you sure? I just want to make sure you guys feel good about where those pieces of paper are on the desk. Is it the glass of water that's making you nervous, Debbie? You seem a little, I don't know. Are you just feeling self-conscious because you don't have as much paper on your desk as Alex Jones does, or that you? Oh, I know what it is. Fucker had to get a glass of water, and now you have no pencil cup. Now they're laying there, and it's a mess. If only this show had a producer. Oh.
Stinchfield show, and then literally hours later, canceled. We're not going to talk about the movie, and I.
They had time to watch it, is what you're telling me?
As far as I know, they still haven't. So, but I mean, Newsmax is Newsmax, so.
Yeah, fucking Newsmax. What about Newsmax? A bunch of assholes, am I right? Right, Debbie? Back me up here. Oh my God, you're fucking Greg Kelly.
Kind of who cares?
Yeah.
But
who cares about Newsmax? Take that.
But Fox News is a different matter. Again,
yeah, they actually have viewers, and it would help you make money on this thing. She's just pissed that you spent all your money on this fucking thing, and all you ended up doing was going back to Mar-a-Lago again.
It's a little unfortunate because I've been going on Fox.
That's a lot unfortunate.
News almost weekly to talk about various issues. And, part of my reason for doing that is not just because I like visibility. It's partly because I say, you know what? I'll do them a favor, and then I'll have a book out, I'll have a movie out, and they'll...
It's weird. Like, you'll scratch their butthole, they'll sniff yours. I get it.
They'll get behind it. I'm not saying they have to agree with it, but they allow...
Yeah, they just got to help me sell shit. Even though that's not why they have guests on, necessarily. They don't owe me anything as a network to promote anything that's a commercial work. You just have to take the benefits as they come.
I mean, to talk about it.
Yeah, and that to me is the most surprising thing of all, because they...
Tell them, Debbie. Tell them what a fucker Tucker Carlson is.
If they don't agree with the content...
Uh-huh. That would seem to be part of the reason.
They can at least debate it.
Yeah, they also probably disagree with flat earthers, but they don't owe them screen time. Just, that never occurred to you? No, they just owe you. It's like, this is a conversation they had over breakfast, and now we all have to suffer through it.
They can just put it out there and go, you know what? We don't think.
You know what? Look, okay, we're being sued for a couple of $2 billion because we followed these assholes down a rabbit hole last year, and they're back with some more bullshit that when we watched it, we're like, kind of crap. And now we just don't want to lose our network, which is worth a lot of money.
That what you're saying is a fact, and so we want to fact check it or whatever.
Yeah, bring it on, fact check it. That's what Newsmax does. They fact check, OAN does. May I, if I may, a little side story. Where is it? Get out of here. Do 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 do. Is this the one? Hold on. No, that's the wrong one. Hold on. Do do. Where is it? It's got to be under news. Sorry. Let's see. Is this the actual video? Wait 1 second. Where the fuck is it? Oh well, I'll just show you the video's nothing to watch, but yeah, Newsmax had to air there was no voter fraud in Georgia that would have changed anything video. Of course, it's just they use stock footage of voters and they had a narrator do it and they put it in the middle of the fucking day. But whatever, they did it. which has got to be a miserable experience. So it's like the Maria Bartiromo video that she plugged at the end of her thing about Dominion to cover her ass.
But to not mention it.
I mean, to pretend it doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's weird. It's not. They're not pretending it doesn't exist. They're aware it's bullshit. I mean, they don't have to. We can trust that most of them, even though they, their behavior kind of seems to show otherwise sometimes, know the difference between shit and shinola, but it's not their responsibility to walk around pointing out every piece of shit they come across.
Purposely, but they're
Charisse, Debbie is Dinesh's wife, and the producer of Dinesh D'Souza's podcast, because no one else will do it.
Purposely not mentioning the movie because, as we know,
those fuckers.
I mean, this.
Yeah, we know what happened.
May seem a little shocking to you, but I think the purpose of a podcast like this is to level with you.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, level with us. Like where your pencil cup went. My inquiring minds want to know. Also, what book is that? Is that the Iliad? I'm going with one of the classic works. Is there a reason it's there to be referenced? Also, Deb, hey, kiddo, that piece of paper isn't going fucking anywhere. Maybe take a page out of Don Jr.'s book and tape it up next to the camera. Nobody gives a fuck if you squint.
And so recently you may have...
She looks very happy, by the way.
I've noticed that Catherine Engelbrecht of True the Vote went on Tucker Carlson's show, and they talked about geo-tracking, and they talked about True the Vote. No mention of 2,000 Mules, and a lot of
it's weird.
People were like, "What's going on?
What's going on? Is it because the guy who put it together is a felon and an asshole, and that everybody associates lies with him, and he's kind of an embarrassment and."
Going on. And for a while there, I was just silent about it because this is the problem with Fox News is they essentially they feel like we have you. You know what I mean? You can't.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's we call it the Fox News plantation. You can't get out. It's like the Godfather of like right wing bullshit. It's I keep trying to get out and they keep dragging me back in. Right.
You can't get off the reservation because we can. Crucify you.
I was touchy about using the plantation thing because they always use it on Fox News, and he's gone reservation.
This is the underlying.
And to be fair.
Yeah, be fair. I mean, be fair. All men are the same.
We did want for Catherine and Greg's work to be known.
Yeah, it was not about us. It's about our money, and they seem to be making money. Which is fine. But
because that's the whole purpose.
Not everybody, it's not everything is about making money. Sometimes it's just about service to your country. I don't mean like in a communist Venezuela kind of a way, but
for doing a movie about their work. And we told them this from the very beginning.
Yeah, we're like, hey, do what you got to do. If you guys... Well, I'm happy for you.
So Tucker Carlson and his producer told Catherine Engelbrecht, we'll have you on, but do not mention 2,000 Mules. Don't mention.
Ouch. Don't you? Oh, it's because Tucker wanted to do one and they went with you and he's just jealous.
Mention it. We forbid you to mention it at all. And
did they wave the fox wand and were they wearing the shawls? Because I've always wanted to see that. We forbid you to say this. They do it at Fox every morning, right? They do it. They have to do it about mentioning the fact that the female guest or the female host on Fox and Friends sits with her legs pointing straight down the camera like that. And if they don't do that magic ritual, Kilmeade will go, uncross your legs! And it ruins the whole show.
So Catherine was actually very embarrassed. And they were like, what, Dinesh? They told me about it. And I was like, listen, you know what? We want the...
don't make a big stink.
Message to get out. So you know what? Go on Tucker. I'm not asking you to boycott Tucker or not go on the show. Go on the show.
I'll just cry about it.
But I mean, think of what a disgrace this is.
It's a disgrace.
And again, as Debbie's saying, we're not saying that you...
No, you're not saying that. None of us are saying that. Okay? None of us.
You have to praise the movie. Mm-hmm. But you have a movie that has all this information and everyone is talking about it.
Not everyone, but, you know, it is limited conversation point. Mostly about what an asshole you are and how this is retreaded garbage. And, of course, smart people like me pointing out the fact that you have yet to prove that any of the votes are A, fake, and if they were, that they weren't for Donald Trump.
And you're telling your guests, don't mention the movie. There's a long story here with Tucker, and maybe someday I don't know necessarily want to go into it today.
Oh, go into it. Come on. Come on, we want the inside scoop. Spill the tea, Dinesh.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
spill the D. Ew.
But
Dinesh and Debbie D'Souza. It just rolls off the tongue.
But
well, and this is a case where, you know what, if you don't like Dinesh, this isn't about Dinesh.
Yeah, nobody likes Dinesh. I don't like Dinesh. I'm married to the fucking guy. Look, of course you don't like Dinesh. No, like, the only person that even I've heard talk about Dinesh is Donald Trump, and that's only because he did a movie for him, and Donald Trump will talk about anybody who does. It's like, literally, that's the strategy. I hate him. Look, honey, I didn't want to bring this up, but I can't stand you. And no one can. Jesus.
This is about the country.
Yeah. You have to like the country more than you like Dinesh. I mean, it's a low bar, but fuck. This is fucking miserable. Shit. Check, please. Thank you. No. We were gonna have this be a double date. Yeah. She was on her way. I texted her. I was like, I'll meet her outside. You guys have fun though. I just had an appetizer, so just bill me, dude. You can. Yeah.
About the country, and this is a capsule that we did for True the Vote information.
Yeah, so it's sort of a suppository more than a
to be able to for people to easily figure out what's in it.
Yeah, it's the lubed catheter of voter fraud conspiracy theories. I get it.
Because in order for this kind of information to come out, it
has to be in cartoon form, dumbed down for the masses who, if they look into the complexity of the issue, will know that it's bullshit and it's not going anywhere. And one of the reasons why Tucker doesn't want to talk about it is because everybody did watch it. A lot of them were at the premiere and they were like, oh, fuck, this is a turd. And they've edited Dennis Prager and Charlie Kirk and all these guys to look like complete fucking morons. And I don't want to be next.
It has to come out that way.
Yeah.
It has to come out in one narrative.
Yeah. You can't let it come out in pieces. That was Mike Pillow's mistake.
And so the movie is that narrative. And they're denying that narrative.
Well, let's go into it. The weird...
Yeah, all because they can't stand Dinesh. Sad, really. If only the person who had done this movie could have picked someone else to support and produce and put it together. Like, somebody people actually like Kirk Cameron or the dude who played Hercules for a couple of years on that show. He has a production company. Fuck.
Weirdness with Tucker is that
Randy Quaid, he knows how to make a movie.
Tucker Carlson has never had me on his show. No.
Yeah, well, in his defense, you are slightly darker than beige, Dinesh, and that's one of his issues. He has Candace Owens on there, but only because she'll do it virtually. Maybe if you don't insist on being in studio live. It's a thing he's got, I guess.
No big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't have to have me on if he's jealous of me, doesn't like me for whatever he doesn't.
Snap. Look at that. He's jealous. Oh, shit. Tell us what's up. He's jealous of the multi-millionaire heir to the Swanson frozen dinner Salisbury steak popsicle fortune is jealous of the mess. Tell me what's up.
I don't think I have anything valuable to say.
Well, that might be closer to the truth, actually. Yeah, he might just think you don't have anything valuable to say. And by value, I don't mean true or any of that, because I'm not judging. I mean financially valuable, because that's all he gives a fuck about. So,
It's his show, no problem.
It is a problem.
Never objected to it. In fact, I've been going on the Ingram Angle pretty much weekly, so
pretty much
I have no issue with that. But what had happened.
But what happened was
several months ago we made a teaser trailer of this movie, and it was you've probably seen it. It's really good. It begins.
Oh, it's awesome. It's all spooky and fucked up and doesn't say anything, and it's obvious to spot the lies and the discrepancies in it just from the trailer, and you can see where the shit is going and that it's not going to amount to a hill of beans from the actual trailer because it's very dramatic, and the drama is in direct correlation to how much bullshit is in it. Because if you have a documentary that's really compelling, you don't need a lot of like extra footage and targets and that kind of stuff. It's really what makes right-wing bullshit documentaries stand out as garbage from other garbage.
Just with D'Souza Media, you see a picture of me.
I think I see a flaw in the trailer right out of the gate, Dinesh. I might be it. Yeah. I was like, what could it be about the trailer? Could it be the targeting on vehicles of Democratic voters that kind of might look like you want them to be hit by a drone strike? And currently the military circumstance we're in, that a lot of people are seeing that kind of footage, and it might be seen as a corollary because you're fucking dumb. Or you just put your big dumb face in it, and that's what fucked it up.
Then you see some footage of the mules.
What kind of footage are we talking about?
It's all set beautifully to music, and it ends with...
Oh, it's very tastefully done. It's Dinesh, some jackasses, some lovely music. It's kind of romantic if you think about it.
2,000 mules coming soon.
Shit. Please tell me the mules aren't behind you and you're not leaning over something. Motherfucker. 2,000 mules coming soon. I honestly don't know why they didn't air it now. It's me, a bunch of mules, some tasteful music, and then 2,000 mules coming soon. Oh. I don't know why. And Debbie's just like, it's like it's just occurring to her right now. Look at her face. 2,000 mules coming. Oh, dear God. Fuck me. 2,000 mules coming soon. Get the fuck out of here. Stop it. First of all, nobody knows why the fuck you named it 2,000 mules, not like 2020 mules. Right? Anybody? No? Why 2,000? All right. What a stupid fucking name for... Nobody knows what the fuck that means, dum-dum. And then you actually don't recognize that some tasteful music, a bunch of donkeys, and the phrase 2,000 mules coming soon isn't gonna get... Jesus Christ. I want to make... Oh, fuck me. How the fuck? Ugh.
The mules, it's all set beautifully to music, and it ends with 2,000 mules coming soon.
Get the fuck out of here. Stop it. I can't. Hold on. I gotta walk it off. I'm not gonna be able to fucking talk. This is fucking. This is not fucking. Oh shit. Oh god. See, this is. I just gotta say. I just have to say, for the record, Alex Jones doesn't have this kind of fun. Dinesh and Debbie don't have this kind of fun. Fuck me. Oh, God. I can't. Shit. Oh, God. Oh. Oh, God. Shit.
Of the mules. It's also the media. You see a picture of me. Then you see some footage of the mules. It's all set beautifully to music, and it ends with 2,000 mules coming soon.
Oh, God. Oh, God. This. No, fuck. Oh, God. Oh, God. I needed that. Thank you, Dinesh. Thank you, Debbie. Mostly Debbie. Thank you to the editor of the trailer for having multiple conversations with Dinesh during the making of it, where he repeated phrases like that so many times that he never really realized what they mean. And, let's get the fuck out of here. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna have a heart attack and fall over because I'm laughing so hard. Oh, God. And I still say, like, Debbie just realized what the sound of, and it all ends with 2,000 mules coming soon. Oh, God. Yeah, I call it the aristocrats. Oh. You guys all right? I can't, all right, let's continue. I still gotta finish the show. God damn it. Get one more time.
Footage of the mules. It's all set beautifully to music, and it ends with 2,000 mules coming soon. And so Tucker Carlson was planning to have Catherine Engelbrecht on the show.
Thank you. Yes. Okay. I'm good. Thank you. For some reason, Catherine Engelbrecht's name is completely devoid of humor.
And his producers call me and say, oh, yeah, we can't really use your teaser trailer.
Because apparently it's a violation of FCC rules to have 2,000 mules coming on broadcast, even though it's cable. Don't give me that shit about it's after 9 o'clock. Fuck off, Dinesh.
Actually want to cut it down to like 40 seconds. And I'm like, well, I understand you have...
Yeah, but if you don't show the mules coming, no one's going to understand. You're removing all the drama. Can you at least leave the tasteful music in?
News restrictions on time. You want to use the first part or the last part? They go, no, we want to use the middle part. And then
yeah, the part without you and without the ejaculating mules. Shit.
And I realized what they were saying is we want to cut D'Souza media out. We want to cut Salem media out. We want to cut any references to the movie out.
Right.
And then we want to cut out the ending where it talks about 2,000 mules. Essentially what they
Well, I think they're worried about showing it.
want to do is steal the middle of the movie, which we had produced. D'Souza media had produced. They wanted to
Debbie is fidgety right now. Debbie is not liking this. Debbie was part of this conversation, and it was definitely on speakerphone.
pretend like Tucker had produced it and essentially appropriate that content to
Fucker is more like it.
themselves. So I was like, you
That fucker.
can't do that.
You can't do that, you fucker.
Listen, you have Catherine on, you can talk about whatever you want, but
You can't steal my fucking footage without giving me credit. I mean, you have to up in the corner, but we want Debbie, look, tell him, Debbie.
you can't take our trailer, which we're about to release. People will think it's your trailer.
Yeah, except it's not a trailer, it's a piece of footage. And it would say the source up in the corner.
And steal the content of it. So when that happened, Justin Wells, who's the executive producer of Tucker Carlson, sent me a series of highly abusive messages. Basically,
Oh, good. Read them. Are those they? Is that why you guys have been touching them the whole time? Because that looks fairly redacted. Please tell me that's a folder of abusive emails from Tucker Carlson's producer. Please, come on. Please, that's better than the fucking movie.
basically saying, Dinesh, you're finished. Well, you're never going to come on Tucker ever again. We're done with you.
I thought what about Laura Ingraham?
We have the most powerful show in news. We're going to teach you a lesson. All kinds of abusive stuff. By the way, there's a train of texts. I did not respond in kind. I responded respectfully. I'm just like, Justin, listen, this is our content. We've produced this. It's going to be part of our movie. If you're not going to mention the movie, just don't use our content.
Yeah, tell him, Debbie. Jesus Christ.
That's all.
That was really
so this
that was uncalled for.
This is the way that these people try to
These fucking people, right? These people in the media, and not the media in general, because anybody else, they just said no thank you and didn't try to steal our shit. But these fuckers at Tucker's show, these fucking monsters.
Arm people. And I have
Debbie shaking her head. She's had enough.
Held my tongue for months about it, but I thought, you know what? Now that the movie
You know what?
is out, it's a case where we don't need him.
Yeah, it's trending on its own. I don't need you, fucker, Carlson.
They haven't helped us one bit.
Well, yeah.
Well,
I take it back. They kind of did help by not showing a bunch of mules coming on you.
So let's point out what bullies these people are. Now,
yeah, let's point out what bullies the people at Tucker Carlson show are. Fuck, why do I not, of all nights to run out of popcorn? Wait a second. Wait right there. I forgot we went to the grocery. Wow, that's salty. Pop it up. Christ. Anyways, you were saying, hold on, something about Tucker Carlson.
About it, but I thought, you know what? Now that the movie's out, it's a case where we don't need them. They haven't helped us one bit.
Nope.
And so let's point out what bullies these people are. Now, did Justin Wells make this decision on his own? I don't know. Was Tucker behind it?
Yes. They often at Fox News have a real problem with rogue executive producers. It's like those assholes think they run the show or something. You know what I'm saying? All right.
I suspect, to be honest, it's Tucker, because I find it hard to believe.
Yeah. Yeah. I find it hard to believe that the asshole that sent the abusive emails to me is is the biggest asshole at that show.
That his executive producer would write, using language that I quite honestly cannot remember ever being spoken to as an adult.
Wow. It's almost as if Tucker surrounds himself with people who are like-minded, like his white supremacist head writer that he had to fire once people found out that he was writing under a pseudonym on anti-Semitic websites and talking shit about black people and Asians. And Jews.
Like this by anyone, let alone some punk who's like 40 years old. And I don't think he would have done it without Tucker's okay. So I'm sorry to say.
Some punk who's like 40 years old? These fucking whippersnappers.
Because I respect Tucker's work. I want Tucker to be successful. Tucker does great work. But this kind of
citation needed.
Abusive, strong-arming conduct is inexcusable. I mean, I've heard about it. I'm angry about it.
Yeah.
And now you know about it.
Uh-huh.
No feed today.
Oh, shit. I sure do. That was it. That was the...
Inexcusable. I mean, I've heard about it. I'm angry about it. And now you know about it.
Wow. Talk about being like out. Fucking out. Well, my goodness, that was a lot of fun. Infighting at the not so okay corral over at Demes. I think we got a new drop and our first, like, I have to admit, that's the first time I've broken in a while. It's not because I don't want to ever, force the laugh, but if something catches me, that's one of the reasons why doing these clips without pre-watching them has some value, is because when shit like that happens, although I feel like I could watch that 100 times and it would still make me laugh. Motherfucker. Let's see. These are all... I'm well over time tonight. Although I think here's a shorty. We can do another short one, right? I won't go too far. This is because who could be a bigger asshole than Dinesh D'Souza and his wife Debbie tag teaming? Just very upset. But Don Jr., who of course is outraged that we're helping Ukraine and nothing for Americans. Now, before we watch this, I have not watched this, and we'll share it together. Just so you know, the Republicans are holding up a vote on more COVID business aid for American businesses and taxpayers to force a vote on another bill. So what's been voted on as far as help for Ukraine is not the be all end all. And a lot of this has to do with the Lend-Lease, like how much stuff we can share, because Biden can use the Lend-Lease thing, but they've got to argue about how much and from where. So that's where the $33 billion is going to come from. But yeah. Meanwhile, Koki McCoked Upperson,
Orcam Read for people with reading difficulties.
Could there be a more perfect ad on a Don Jr. video? Honestly,
for some people, reading can be a challenge. With
I'm trying to pause it and it won't let me.
Orcam Read, just point and click.
The works of Isaac Newton.
Read for school. Read a recipe.
Peel and finely chop the onion.
Read a magazine.
Peel and finely chop the onion. I don't like
anything you want. Orcam Read makes reading simple. Available now at orcam.com.
We do it.
You're not reading.
Well, guys, it's hard to find baby food.
Sorry, it's hard to find baby food.
Well, guys.
There's, in case you don't know, there's a baby food shortage of specific brands, specifically ones that are hypoallergenic or whatever. They're starting to ration them. They're at 40 to 50% stock in 3 states, mostly red states. which has a lot to do with where they buy it from and how many kids need it in those states. It might be another question about Dow Chemical in Alabama that we could talk about later. But there was a plant in Michigan that was temporarily shut down because they found salmonella and chronobacter, which is a bacteria. 4 children were made very ill who ate solid formula from this particular plant. 1 died, and another in the initial, and then there was another one that died later. So they did a total recall on the baby formula specifically from this particular plant, and they had to throw out a bunch of it and start from scratch. And they had to clean the plant first, and they detected the chronobacteria and salmonella in non-food preparation areas, meaning that when more than likely these cases started to show up, the company went through and sanitized the whole thing before the inspector showed up, but didn't bother to do the outer offices. So the very chronobacteria that got into the food, got into the kid, was found in the lobby, essentially, in the offices, in the outer offices, because they didn't do a big, deep clean there, right? And that's, yes, that's salmonella to you, right? So they're trying to catch up with that. The FDA is working with them to get them back online, but there's been, shortages of materials and like because of lack of labor, employees literally that were off because of COVID, put them behind, and then hiring new people has been hard. On top of that, that's slowed down the production of it. The FDA is, and I quote, working 24/7 on it. With this company to get them back online.
It's hard.
It's hard. What happened in Koki McCokerson's brain is that people are hoarding some types of baby food because there are limited supplies, and that's exacerbating the limited supply. And he's got the word hoard stuck in his fucking dome when he's trying to say the word hard, because that's not a word he gets to use very often.
To find baby formula in the United States of America, right?
No, it's not. There are specific kinds that are limited because of this particular plant.
Now, it's the year 2022, and there's a shortage of baby formula, but that will not stop Democrats from weighing a plan to send $40 billion to the Ukraine. $40 billion, so that we can continue.
What the fuck? How are these related? Well, I'm sorry. Would that $40 billion speed up production at farms or transportation to this particular plant or get it back online? I'll have you know that plant could probably be back online a week faster if, I don't know, some rando millionaire said, hey guys, here's $5 million. Do a top to tails clean of the place so you can get back online. I'll pay for it. $5 million. I don't even know if it'll cost that much. But some rich asshole who apparently has money to blow, no pun intended, could clearly give them that money and get them back online. The only reason they can is because of their fiduciary duty to the people that are investors in or owners of the company. And then, of course, the rules that the FDA puts forward about what they can and can't do in that time. But you could probably shorten that. If you think throwing money at it would do it, it's not going to be anywhere near 40 billion. You could do it with a couple of million. Knock yourself the fuck out.
Continue the proxy war with Russia.
Oh, all right. So he's doing the Jimmy Dore talking point now.
Nuclear superpower.
So because they're a nuclear superpower, we're supposed to let them just rape and murder all they want. That's what you got. Whoever has the biggest gun can just get away with it because the other person with a big gun doesn't want to pull the trigger on theirs.
Wonderful plan.
What the fuck are you reading?
So how long till we figure out that this money is just sort of a stop, a transit stop of your money, of your hard-earned taxpayer dollars, that will get sent back to corrupt Ukrainian officials, corrupt American officials, people making decisions? How long till that happens?
Never. Because a lot of it's going in humanitarian relief to the actual Ukrainians that are in Poland and these other countries, and they dole it out through NGOs and government outreach there. And then our military some of it goes into our budget where we give them stuff, and that stuff is part of those billions of dollars. So it does. I'm just saying there aren't going to be a lot of tanks and F-15s parked at Biden's lake house. You fucking tool.
Because maybe it's time for actual diplomacy. Maybe it's time to not start World War III with Russia by continuing to fund these things.
Oh, I see. So that's what will stop them. If we just let them have Ukraine and force them to the table with what? Oh, nothing. Just letting them have everything. Because the Russians have, they poisoned people at the very first peace talks. They had a spy at the second one. And ever since then, they've said, our demands are, give us the entire eastern side of the country, all the way to Odessa, to Transnistria, which is not a real fucking country. It's a sliver between Moldova and Ukraine that they fucking claimed and made up again. And then what we'll do is we'll just salami slice the way across the country later on, like we did with Crimea. Because you know how, like, when we invaded Donbass and Luhansk and Donetsk and Crimea, and we're like, yeah, but we're just going to stop there. And we didn't stop there. Yeah, we're going to stop where you give us half the country, and then we'll just stop there. Again. Also, we're going to threaten Finland and Sweden for joining NATO.
Maybe it's time.
Maybe you're a fucking dumbass. Maybe you're worried that Deutsche Bank money is drying up.
I don't want to talk crazy now. Maybe it's time we actually put America first. Why don't we maybe take that $40 billion of your money, right? This isn't government money. It's your money.
Mm-hmm.
And
and just let the people of Ukraine get raped and murdered and shoveled into mass graves, and let Russia claim the largest grain fields and oil and gas reserves on the European side, just like they claim parts of Georgia and Chechnya, and just let that happen, and just hope they don't go into Poland next time. I mean, they seem trustworthy. They seem nice. They're piling their own soldiers in a dump. But I'm sure once they stop fighting in that area and just claim those areas as their own, they'll treat everyone else with dignity and respect and be good world citizens and won't move some of those nukes you're talking about closer to other countries.
Fight, I don't know, hunger and homelessness.
Oh, now you give a fuck? Sorry, what part of your dad's budget dealt with hunger and homelessness? Your dad was president for 4 fucking years. You do realize that, right? That part of that hole that you think needs to be filled, he dug.
Let's continue to help veterans, whether it be medically or getting jobs and reintegrated back to society.
Yeah, we do that. We can walk and chew gum at the same time. We have a $26 trillion economy.
Properly after coming out of the endless wars.
Oh, who got us out of those endless wars? Who was it that finally pulled the plug and got us out? I mean, I know your dad wanted us to stay in Afghanistan forever. But who was it? Oh, yeah. The guy I voted for. Joe Biden. The guy who kicked your dad's sorry ass.
Are we even allowed to ask where this money is going and have an actual accounting?
Yes, you have representatives in government. That's who you vote for. And some of them are on the committee. And some of them can talk about it openly about certain elements of it, say the humanitarian aid and the like, and some of the military works. And some of it is secret or classified. And therefore, they will get to ask them behind closed doors in a non-public session for the safety of everyone involved, including your fellow countrymen, if you gave a fuck.
Of it. You know, not sort of the nebulous, I don't know, and it ends up in a suitcase of some Ukrainian minister's wife in hard-earned U.S. cash as she's crossing the border, as we saw a few weeks ago, with millions and millions of dollars.
You mean in Afghanistan? You mean the money that guy built up while your dad was president? Sorry, did the president of Afghanistan flee with less money than he would have if this had ended in the first year of your dad's presidency instead of the first year of Biden's presidency? I'm going to guess no.
Right. I think we've already sent $13 billion to the Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
But let's just keep printing money, right?
well, no, we're not printing money. This is part of the internalized budget. We have these things for emergencies. It's kind of, I mean, I understand. This is the same. Yikes. That's fucking frightening. Looking good, buddy. It's weird, but he looks like what Kirk Cameron thinks he looks like. Those billions of dollars, by the way, we spent $51 billion just on Hurricane Sandy relief. Also, Ukraine will pay us back with interest over time.
I heard Joe Biden say that tackling inflation is going to be his top priority. Really? It is? So,
yes.
In the midst of an economic downturn with energy prices through the roof, we're just going to keep printing money. Right?
We're not printing money. That's not how that works. Did you see that the Fed just raised interest rates? They're buying securities.
Hey, that's the one way to fight inflation, Joe. Well done. Who came up with that policy? Kamala Harris? Like, perhaps the only person more incompetent than Joe Biden himself? It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. It's almost as if I've been handing this script and I don't even know how to process the details in it.
Where does the money come from? They don't even care. They're just spending it because it comes from you.
Yeah, all of it does. Including the money that your dad got in tax breaks he didn't deserve, and the IRS has been after him to give back because he didn't earn a $79 million tax refund in a year when he claimed he made no income when he did.
Your blood, sweat, and tears. Will it ever be repaid? No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Of course not.
We made money on the 2008 crash. Yes. And by the way, it won't if you follow this asshole's advice and Ukraine falls. That's true. If we let Russia do whatever the fuck they want with the Ukrainian territories they're in right now and stop currently because we're kicking their ass and they're kicking their ass with our stuff is a better example of it, or a description of it rather. But if we stop right now and Russia wins, we won't see any of the money we did. You could argue this is good money after bad if you don't give a fuck about people in mass graves, which you don't. But that's just the basic truth.
These are the favors that these people do for themselves.
I have to remember to close my drapes.
It will be repaid to the congressmen and to the generals when they get their board seats at Raytheon to sell.
Why? Oh, because Raytheon would make money back on that because the United States government would actually make money on the Lend-Lease deal, for example. Notice the word lease in there.
More missiles and start more wars and keep going. They don't
Yeah, easy, you fucking hippie. Like all of a sudden he gives a
care. You're paying for it. They get to reap the rewards.
By the way, for the record, Russell Brand looks like shit. I'm not enjoying the new haircut.
Yeah, but it's.
I do appreciate him not wearing the torn like belly button V-neck.
Russia's fault that we have an inflationary crisis, not the Ukraine, right?
It's not the Ukraine, fucko. There you go. We've got a slip. It's Ukraine. It's a country. The Ukraine is what Russia calls it because they view it as a territory. By the way, this asshole taped this after Putin's address on May 9th.
We have broken bridges, disastrous roads, homeless problems, a disaster at the border, right? It would have taken...
I'm sorry, Sarah. I will look for the cameo.
Taken a couple billion, like $3 or $4 billion to finish the border wall and stop a humanitarian crisis there. But no way. We can't do that.
Well, the problem is if they keep building on the wall, obviously the wall was making it worse. We had a better, stronger border under Obama than we did under Trump. And there was no wall. And then once the wall got anywhere close to finished, according to Trump, it's finished. It's the extra part that is yet to be finished. It fucked everything up.
But let's send 10 times that, in addition to what they've already sent to the Ukraine. And
to Ukraine, not the Ukraine.
Maybe, just maybe if we're lucky, we can avoid nuclear war with Russia. Guys, to me, it reads as nothing other than Democrats trying to get their kickbacks in before they lose power.
Dude, what good are fucking kickbacks if it ends in nuclear war? Do you think that's how the decision-making process, like, look how much money we're going to make? I mean, it glows in the dark, but still.
It's absolutely...
This is one of the most pointless videos he's ever made. This is simply just like, fuck Ukraine. They're stealing from you, these fucking Nazis.
Sick. Okay, and Joe Biden, don't tell the American people that inflation is your top priority when you're printing money out the wazoo to...
Well, he isn't, because that's not how the government works.
Send it to this clown show.
Oh. It's a clown show? The Ukrainians are a clown... Oh, he doesn't think we're actually sending money to the Russian military, does he? That would have been his dad's plan. We're not implementing that plan. Biden has a different plan. He tore up your dad's plan when he came in. The whole, like, why don't we fund the Russian military and then we'll fight each other and we can both make money on the back end, pooty poot. That was your dad's plan. We're not going with that.
Enough is enough. Let's put...
Enough is enough, but don't never.
America first. Let's maybe get baby formula for our children and our infants. Maybe let's turn our oil pumps back on instead of this insanity.
Well, our oil pumps aren't off. And we don't have oil pumps. The government doesn't have oil pumps. We're not Venezuela. If you want to turn us into Venezuela, now this asshole wants to nationalize oil and baby food. Fucking commies.
But no, that's not going to happen.
No, it's not, because it doesn't ever happen. We don't actually turn on the pumps. That's oil companies. Maybe your dad probably golfs with some of these fuckers, or used to, but when he was useful. Now they have moved on.
We all know it. Not while these idiots are in power.
You'll find...
Wait a minute. We all know it. Not while the... What?
The subsection...
Hold on.
We all know it. Not while these idiots are in power.
Okay, honest to God, this is the biggest chunk of gibberish from him we've seen in a good long while. The general premise is we shouldn't be sending money to Ukraine because we have a shortage of baby formula at home, and somehow that money would be better spent fixing that shortage, without any mention of why there's a shortage, or the fact that the money we're spending in Ukraine to help them is actually helping them save their own lives and their own country, which apparently he doesn't give a rat fuck about. No amount of money is going to make this private business in Michigan get their shit together any faster, apparently. This is what I'm talking about. Hold on one second. Michigan baby formula. Just see it. Not that this fucker has... Yeah, here you go. This is from... where is it? I don't want to learn to find out everybody... Here you go. Recall notice for U.S. and Puerto Rico, 2/28. This is when this happened. Abbott is voluntarily recalling a lot of Similac PM6040 from this particular lot can and this particular case, manufactured in Sturgis, Michigan, because some fuckhead with crabs from the biker convention took a piss in one of the vats. This is in addition to lots of Similac, Alimentum, and Elecare powder formula that were voluntarily recalled on February 17th. So even more of it. The action comes after learning of the death of an infant who tested positive for Chronobacter sakazaki, and who were informed had consumed Similac PM6040 from this lot. This case is under investigation. At this time, the cause of the infant's Chronobacter sakazaki infection has not been determined. We want to extend our heartfelt sympathies to the family. Importantly, no distributed product has tested positive for the Chronobacter sakazaki. Additionally, recent tested retain projects of these were tested negative. By the way, when they did it, like I said, they found both of them present in the outer offices. None of the product has tested positive for it, but it managed to get out there. It could have been on the plastic lid in it and all, whatever. Anyways, it's hard to say at this point, but that's what they're looking for. How to check the lot number on your stuff, which recall, and the other markets. This is just for stuff that went to U.S. and Puerto Rico because this is what shipped out during that time. That's the story that caused this particular breakdown. There were other reasons for it, for this recall. And there's a big concern about, let me see if I can find the, let's see. This is, let me do the news on this one. Daily Mail. Here you go. This is the Daily Mail story. Why is biggest baby formula plant in the U.S. still shut down after 3 months? Abbott says plant is safe and is not responsible for bacteria that killed 2 kids, but FDA refused to reopen it as parents across the state struggle to feed their babies. Slant much? Abbott Laboratories claims its Michigan plant is not responsible for bacteria that killed at least 2 infants. You think they're going to? You think they're going to? Yeah, it was us. Yeah, we killed those 2 kids. Like, they're going to say that? They're going to go, we found traces of that kind, but it's not that exact strain, and we don't think, and maybe not, and we're working to make sure, and yada, because they're going to be liable for the deaths of those 2 infants if it turns out to be true. So, of course, they're not going to say it in the fucking press. Baby formula manufacturer alleged an FDA investigation revealed infant formula produced at the Sturgis facility is not likely to be the source of infection. Abbott claims products from the facility did not cause any bacterial outbreak. The plant still remains closed despite the findings after shutting down in February amid a major product recall. Abbott says it's working closely with the FDA to restart operations at the plant as parents across the nation are struggling. Okay, this is 10 May 2020. This is the newest article. Let's see, plant was shut down for nearly 3 months ago after a bacterial infection caused the deaths and other serious. There you go. This is the plant. That's the stuff. Tested positive for coronabacteria. Distributed to consumers. Tested positive. Well, that they tested. That's the thing. Not all of it has it. No. FDA and Abbott officials both tested retained product for the bacteria and yielded negative results. No trace of salmonella was found at the Sturgis plant, and the coronabacter was found in environments tested during the investigation was in non-product contact areas of the facility. That's what I was talking about. They found it, but they didn't find it in the factory area. Because as soon as these reports got back, before they got a visit from the FDA, they did a fucking top to bottom bomb cleanup of the entire place, because you'd be stupid not to. But it was in non-product contact areas of the facility. It was everywhere else. It was in the bathroom, or it was where other people went, on their breaks in the outer offices. The company alleged the traces of coronabacteria at their plant have not been linked to the 2 available patient samples or any other known infant illness, other than the fact that it's the same bacteria. So nationwide out-of-stock baby formula hit 40% in April. Texas, Tennessee, Missouri, Iowa, North Dakota, and South Dakota, seemingly hardest hit by the shortages, reported out-of-stock rates at 50%. Concerned parents, because they're hoarding. That's why. Because those are the states with fucking preppers in them. Fucking hell. So, and again, in this one, let's see. There was another one. Consumer reports. This is recall. Yeah. So there was an overall shortage anyways of some available stuffs. Here's what the FDA and the USDA says. Go away, Midland. There we go. A nationwide baby formula shortage worsened by a recall of a Michigan healthcare company's powdered formula continues. Some retailers are limiting how much customers can buy in a given transaction because in these red states, they're full of fucking preppers who don't just buy them for their babies. They buy them to add vitamins and fiber and other shit to their regular food stuff so they don't have to store as much. And they constantly use it up on top of the fact that they stack it for other people because they think it's going to be, the powdered version is going to be fucking currency after the fucking rapture during the tribulation. As well as major drugstores are limiting the amount, according to a report in Wall Street Journal. Infant formula is a sole source of nutrition for many infants is an essential product. Just 25% of infants born in 2017 were fed exclusively through breastfeeding in their first 6 months. Throughout the pandemic, the FDA has been monitoring potential supply chain risks for this category of products. The out-of-stock percentage, we saw that too, went from hovered between 2 and 8% in the first 7 months of last year, but it's been growing steadily since then. It's reached 23% in January, and then there was the recall. During the week of March 13th, some 29% of baby formula products were out of stock at retailers nationwide, potentially due to the recall. Shortages are severe enough that, according to a report in Detroit, a Detroit mom was forced to drive a family member to Chicago to buy her son's sensitive stomach formula. And that's the issue more than anything else, is that these the stuff they don't keep as much stock on because it's for kids with digestive issues or hypoallergenic formulas and that kind of stuff. That stuff is, they all, like grocery stores and places already stock less of it because there's less desire for it, there's less need for it. And so when there's a shortage, it hits that side extra hard. Which is again why you would want somebody to make sure that the cupboards aren't bare in those particular situations. Although it's not even below 50% in a bunch of these places. So obviously comparing how many units have been recalled. Companies' brands include some of the best-selling baby formulas in the world. Okay. So anyways, that's why this is going on. This has nothing to do with money not being spent at all. This is because of limits of certain supplies, and then, of course, this particular plant. Up until this plant was shut down, because it's one of the few places. And by the way, there's another way you could solve this as well, dum-dum. You could open a company that makes baby formula. You could start one. Your dad could start with seed money. He could get his SPAC together instead of forming some bullshit like Troth Sensual. He and one of these SPACs could start a baby formula company, Trump Goo or whatever, and like Trump Gaga, and start a fucking plant to make it. If you gave a fuck. I mean, it'd be like a $500 million investment. Isn't your dad worth $9 billion? I mean, if Elon Musk can dump $44 billion buying Twitter, well, lose, I guess, 12 in the process because the price went down after he bought it at an acquired price. If his deal even goes through, where he might bail out on it, that's going to be interesting. Seemingly, for about $500,000, you could start a company, right? There you go. There's the, by the way, this is your government working. If you have an infant and you don't want them to eat poison formula, they're glad to help you out with that. I mean, I don't know how you run some sort of depopulation scheme to get us down to 40,000 people by making sure all the babies know which, formula isn't poison. Seems like it's a hitch in their get along. There's a problem with that plan, the strategy. But they're listing all this stuff. If you're feeding baby, choosing an infant formula, instant formula preparation, storage, how much and how often to feed, download and print this handout to prepare and store powdered infant formula. This is how long to keep it. And it's available in Spanish, which is definitely going to make Tucker Carlson upset. Here we go. See the CDC's investigation notice for an image that shows where to find these conditions. Okay. Okay. Chronobacter powdered infant formula investigation. This is, there have been 4 illnesses, 2 deaths in 3 states, Minnesota, Ohio, and Texas. There is a recall. The investigation status is currently active. This is where the lot number is and where it is. This is, your government does this with your tax dollars for everything like this. It's got a whole section on Chronobacter. What do you think the chances are that Trump or anybody in his fucking circle that he brought in with them would see this and go, what do we need? We got a whole fucking, how much money are we spending cataloging different common bacterias? And I've heard of salmonella. I've never heard of this shit before. Testing and treatment, what's in it, where the code are, advice for parents and caregivers, do not feed your baby any recalled powdered formula. I think that's a good point right out of the top. That's how they control you, though. They start with masks. Next thing you know, they don't feed your baby. Do not feed your baby. That's what I see. Look at this right here. It says right here on a government website, do not feed your baby. These monsters. These fucking monsters. I don't know what the rest of it says, but it says, I saw this thing on a government website, said, do not feed your baby. It's true. You're my witness. It was highlighted. I mean, I highlighted it, but still, it was highlighted. Come at me, bro. Let's see. If you can't find the code on the powder formula, do not use it. Yeah, that's a good idea. Parents and caregivers should never dilute powdered infant formula by adding more water than recommended, and should not make or feed homemade infant formula to infants. They had to do a whole big thing about that because in 2019, a bunch of people were feeding their kids homemade infant formula the last time we had a bit of a shortage. Not good. How'd this bug get in here? There's like a little... It's all the popcorn. It snuck in on the popcorn. There it is. Then it goes. Laboratory culture, description of cases, how it happened for infants. Here's the with Chronobacter infections in Minnesota, 1, Ohio 2, Texas 1. Consumed formula produced at Sturgis, Michigan facility before they got sick. Formula types included Similac Sensitive, Pro Total Comfort, Similac Advanced, and PM 6040. Infections may have contributed to the deaths of 2 infants in Ohio. CDC performed whole genome sequencing on chronobacteria isolated from the 2 available patient samples to compare them with the environmental samples taken at the facility to determine if there's any relation. At this time, CDC has completed laboratory testing for the 2 available patient samples. The analysis performed by WGS did not find these samples from patients to be closely genetically related to the multiple strains of chronobacter found in the environmental samples obtained from Abbott's Nutrition Sturgis. That might be part of the problem. Closely related to the multiple strains of chronobacter found in the environmental samples obtained from Abbott Nutrition Sturgis, Michigan facility. So it wasn't even that, like, they found these chronobacter infections, these multiple strains at this place because they were testing to see if they matched, and they just found the place is infested. Furthermore, WGS showed the bacteria from available patient samples were not closely related to one another, so they're not the same strain to the kid to kid. During the course of this investigation, collected additional product samples from the facility, and FDA analysis is ongoing. Yeah, just because they got some of them doesn't mean they got all of them, especially since there are multiple strains at this fucking place. Received 1 complaint of an infant with salmonella who consumed infant formula from the Sturgis facility. However, there is not enough information available. That could just be from people adding milk or something else to it. In the house, CDC informed that single salmonella illness is not linked to an outbreak. About Chronobacter, how it can spread. There you go. And basically, they're just trying to get this place cleaned up because the problem is it may or may not have been this particular strain that killed these 2 kids, but when they looked at the plant where they got their food from, they had multiple strains of this toxic bacteria in the plant. And it wasn't in the cooking area because they cleaned it up because the FDA was coming over. So, yeah, that's what this bullshit is about. This is a legitimate problem. This happens in every country in the world. You don't get to avoid this kind of stuff. Bacteria is insidious like that. It's gross, and it seeps into areas, kind of under doors and up into rectums. Do we still know what this thing is? Is this some sort of like prostate stimulating brandy snifter? Something like that? I don't know why he has... These are just frames bought from the same store with no pictures in them. 8x10 frames, so he can put fictional, what do you think, diplomas in them that he gets from Rand Paul's eye socket university. Yeah. But the FDA never pulls the plug on cigarettes. Well, that's different, though, because cigarettes, they make you aware that they're dangerous. You're a grown person, and you can consume shit that's not good for you in life. That's part of being an adult. Baby formula is very different. I'm having a fun time with just letting it loose now. Not like I heard the fried orange powder would come out from the spray tanning. Right. Anyways, all right, we're well over. I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you guys for hanging out. I will see you tomorrow, and in the morning, and then I have to see. I may need to go to LA for a quick dust up rehearsal because we have a fill-in bass player for these weekend shows. So I will know in the morning whether or not that works out timing wise for how I'm going to get up to Jackpot, where I think increasingly I'm going to end up driving, just so I can keep my shows on schedule and also not have to worry about flights getting back because I have a Sunday show here in Vegas at the Mint in Las Vegas. If you want to see stand up and you're in the Vegas area, it's me and Don Jameson and Richard Hunter, and it'll be fun. The monsters of comedy. And yeah, and thank you guys for joining me. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Give a thumbs up, support the show. Venmo is always helpful. If I made you laugh tonight, buy me a cup of coffee or a bag of popcorn. Using Venmo, or thank you guys for the super chats as well. Mark, thank you so much. You made me laugh out loud today. Needed that, as did I, Mark. Thank you, man. Dr. 13 for the 2000 Mules watch party. Thank you for that. Scott Bellinger, thank you for subscribing. James Black for the super chat. Thank you. Mariah, thank you so much. Richard, Dinesh, the Pepto Pink ice cream smuggler. Yikes. Turbo, hey Hal, your great commentary gives me hope for this country to maybe come back to reality one day. It'll happen. Don't worry. Remember, we have nothing to fear, including fear. Even fear itself. It's a Sparksism. We're going to do it. We have nothing to fear, even fear itself. Hashtag Sparksism. Thank you guys, by the way. You're one of the things that helped me get through last week with the bad news that I got about my friend. And so I appreciate you guys putting up with my muted version of the show for a little bit. I'm trying my best to put one foot in front of the other and keep moving forward. As many of you know, over the last couple of years since the beginning of COVID and the beginning of lockdown, that's number 8 for me as far as people close to me. And I think that it's like Jenga at some point. You can only pull so many out before the thing starts to tip over. And that's what it felt like. So I appreciate you guys and thank you. And I want to thank all the trolls for sticking with me during that when there was less to scream about. And please welcome back. And also all the assholes who still watch TYT. I don't know why your brain is broken, but thank you for dropping by and screaming ridiculous things as well because you boost us in the algorithm. And I bless you for that. Don't forget, trolling has none of the power it used to have in 2016. And, if you stick around long enough, someone might drop a house on you too. But you're welcome here anytime, as long as you don't use any of the kind of language that, you've been warned about. All right. Everybody, thank you so much. I will see you guys tomorrow for the morning show. Hal Sparks Mornings, Mega Worldwide, the Hump Day edition tomorrow. Take care of yourself and take care of somebody else. And I'll see you tomorrow.